So hold on. Y'all be having threesomes like every night? Look, the poly lifestyle is about much more than just sex.
Girl, you should be my girlfriend.
And I gotta make sure my man is being fulfilled sexually.
I did think y'all had a little thing going on.
Nobody will suit y'all better than this.
I guess I just need to know your rules and your safe word.
We're ready to take things to the next level.
So you don't let your girlfriend pick up your husband?
You always think I'm playing whenever I'm trying to get closer to you. He almost made me kill his ass. Girl, you crazy.
Your baby step shit, but
I feel how I feel.
I'm doing too much.
I should have told you this a long time ago.
That shit can get messy.
Drop the gun!
I'm the unicorn of all unicorns, honey. If I say let that bitch go, you stand with me.
Soon as I give you motherfuckers another chance, you break my heart again? Hey, boo.
Because you would love it here.
Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Realest podcast.
TRP Nation, what's good? We're back here on the realest podcast ever. And this is somebody that we have here today. I've been trying to get this gentleman on the show since 2022. I thought he didn't respond to my email, but he actually did. Shout out to Apple. Y'all scrambled my email, messed it up, made me think this man didn't get back to me. But nevertheless, things happen in divine timing. And I think that with everything that's going on right now, this is the perfect person to speak to with everything that's actually happening in the media, in government, and stuff like that, and do so from a grassroots, boot on the ground perspective that will illuminate the conversation in the right way. In times of misinformation, uncertainty, and civil unrest, we turn to experts who are able to speak accurately on the topics at hand and provide informed analysis of the social climate and help collectively steer us in the right direction. Today's guest wears a number of hats that range from entrepreneur to political activist, cultural critic, teacher, community leader, former artist, and a disruptive force. He is an expert in civics, economics, and government who speaks factually on all things political. In 2016, he founded Black Guns Matter, an organization aimed at educating African Americans about gun culture in the United States and how to defend their Second Amendment rights. He is also the founder of Solutionary Lifestyle and proprietor of Solutionary University. His earnest, aggressive, and unapologetic commitment to educating and providing resources for Black Americans is second to none and the inspiration of many. TRP Nation, grab your notebooks. Get ready to learn from one of our most powerful guests ever, the brilliant mind of Mr. Maj Toure.
Thank you, man. That was an excellent way of saying some dude from Philly that do some stuff.
You do a lot of stuff. You do more than some stuff, man. Again, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, you're somebody that got on my radar a number of years ago. I remember seeing an interview that you had on Viral Hip Hop News.
Yeah.
And it was just so powerful how direct, how factually, how informed you were, and also how transparent you were.
Yeah.
And given the climate, social climate, political climate, everything of what's going on right now, I feel like it kind of fell in our laps right now to be able to reconnect. Shout out to Dave Anderson for bringing us together,
bully.
man. Yeah, the bully.
Yeah.
For putting us together, man. And I think we're going to have a great ride through this conversation.
Yeah.
And and debunk a lot of the bullshit that's going on right now in the mainstream media. Before we get into like certain specific stuff that's happening right now, tell us a little bit about like your Philadelphia experience. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of storytelling around, Philadelphia figures, none more prominent than you. What was your Philadelphia experience like?
Philly, I've lived in Philly most of my life. Everybody in Philly, it depends on where they caught me at in this life thing.
Gotcha.
Some people some of the viewers will remember this as after I say it. Some of y'all might remember it after I say it. Some people caught me in the, yo, that's the boy that sell DVDs on the train era. Some people caught me on the, see? On the,
Yeah. How about it?
yeah, so it just depends on what era it was.
Yeah.
Some people is like, yo, that's where I used to get my tree from. Some people it was, that's who I used to get the Black Star newspaper from. That's who I used to get the Uhuru newspaper from. It just depends on what age group and what era. I'm old enough, but I'm young enough. But I've always sold things. And so selling things gives you a certain level of understanding of different types of people and their similarities even across their differences. Right? Especially when you're selling like entertainment and weed. I don't care what background you from. You consume entertainment, and a lot of people, there's way more people that consume cannabis
Than
that don't.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it just depends on where people caught me in the you know that section of the matrix at that time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will know me from always, obviously from sales, but everybody can say, now, regardless of what he was doing, he's always had a community activist type of vibe to him, right? Even with music. But one of the biggest things that I remember while selling movies was how it was always an opportunity to get young dudes, like young wild youngins just on a train doing stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, come here. You know, they 10, 11, whatever years old. Hey, I'm going to ask y'all a math question. If y'all get this right, whoever get it right, get a free DVD. And I remember years later, not long ago, you know, some of those young men, you know, 10 years later, you know, they 20-something, 30-something now. And they like, yo, back in the day, you know, I remember you used to say, if you get the DVD question right, you get a movie, and math will always get you paid. You don't got to sell this, you don't got to sell that. And those are the things that always stood out to me, sales. And so regardless of what I did, there's always going to be a conscious component, always tied into the capitalism or free market enterprise component. Right. And that's how we've had success with BGM. That's why we've had, you know, success with selling our merch. That's why we've had success with the Solutionary Center. There's always a component. We're going to get to that bag for sure.
Yeah.
But there's
You're
always
going crazy with the merch.
Yeah. It's just everywhere. And so we're still going to figure out a way that we can serve our communities even off making the bread. Like I think that it's a misnomer to think that, you know, in order to be successful in free market enterprise, you have to have a cutthroat mentality as it relates to just shitting on anybody and everybody.
Right.
Actually, all of the people that I know that make way more money than me. I'm talking about companies that do $100 million a year. You know, Andy Frisella comes to mind. I'm a First Form Legionnaire, right? It's a health and fitness supplement company. They give. Yeah. All of my rich, like my friends that are like, nah, they're not hood rich like me.
Rich.
They're rich and like wealthy. They're all very, very giving, supportive, community-based people. And even a big philanthropist. I may not rock with a lot of the political antics that, you know, Bill Gates does, buying up all of the farmland and doing shit with the mosquitoes.
Very suspicious.
Very suspicious. He fits the description of a supervillain in the movies, right? But I can't deny the fact that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gives away hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And so that component has always been something that I've been throughout my journey, all throughout Philadelphia. And anybody that, if you ask them if they're being honest about that, even if they don't like me, they may be like, I don't really like him. I don't like his politics, because that's what they'll say. They don't dislike me. They may not like my politics.
Right.
But without even knowing what those politics are. But they'll still say, nah, but, you know, he used to be really, really out there. Or he has this and he's consistently, no one's paid to come to a BGM class in years. Right. So that's just kind of like me in a nutshell. And just Philly, as I say all the time, Philadelphia is a proving ground. You don't come to Philly to succeed. You come to Philly to sharpen what you on, because Philadelphia is definitely going to tell you where you're wrong at.
Right.
And so being there, that's how I've been able to be all over the country a few times, and a few times, you know, in different countries across the world, and just taking that grit mentality with a community service mentality mixed with free market enterprise vibes.
You say you came to Philly, so where were you from?
No, I'm from Philly.
Oh, you are from Philly?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm from
You
Philly.
say you spent most of your time here.
Yeah, most because I've lived in other places at different times, and that part was just me going, like, you know, I've lived in New York, you know, I've lived down south. And just in those other places, like these places are cake. Like it's not even like even New York. It's like New York, there's money falling out of the sky in a sense because it's the financial capital of the world.
Right.
And so like if you can't get no money in New York, it's like, come on, bro, it's something. Like the Africans with everyone knows that these purses are not real Louis purses. But they make millions of dollars with those purses. So if you can't get it how you live there, Philadelphia is a little bit different because it's not a financial capital.
You kind of got to mine for opportunity and monetary gain.
It's the fifth and or sixth largest city. We usually go back and forth with like Phoenix, right? But it's not. It's a city of the firsts in the sense of things are created and birthed in Philadelphia. Mother's Day birthed in Philadelphia. America was birthed in Philadelphia. The Marines in Tun Tavern was birthed in Philadelphia.
I think the flag was done here.
The flag, it's just the first microcomputer in Philadelphia. So we're a cultural and creative origin point, but that doesn't always mean all of the money comes right out of that city. Right. Because again, it's a proving ground, you know, and I personally, my spiritual belief is until America as a government atones for certain levels of slavery, Philadelphia is always going to have a gray cloud over it. You can feel it. Yeah. You can feel it. When people from Philly go other places, and it's like down south especially, they're like, man, it was clean as hell in Texas, right? And it's a different energy, and I think a lot of that comes from that. So there's a grit that's here. You know, there's the ability to develop skill sets, and you just got to do that and take it. Everybody that is from Philly that gets out of Philly and goes to other places, it's a slim chance that they're not going to succeed. Right. I mean, you can look at all of the people that lead most entertainment industries, anything. Like Meek's baby mom, Milano, like leaves Philly and has a Philly grit and does what she does.
$80 million a year now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a game. You don't even got to talk about Kevin Hart, you know, and that spans from whenever. You know, if you're talking about, you know, civics, America was founded by a bunch of dudes in Philly. It wasn't an accident that they picked this place. Right. And so just getting people to see that, and getting more so getting Philadelphians to see that. Like, one, you love your city, but travel outside of your city, see how if you keep this grit and keep this grind, and in a Miami, for example, where it's all flash and, you know, it's a lot of money down there, but they might not have your grit. You got Rocky energy. You know what I'm saying? And so just getting people to see that. And I mean, obviously, my favorite artist of all time from Philadelphia is Will Smith. I mean, and he kind of like, in more recent memory, there's no discussion about every layer of knocking doors down that Will Smith has done. And so I don't think anybody's topped him. I definitely know nobody's topped him at the box office. That's just not even a question. Comedy, making that transition from acting to television and television to movies. Right. And being an author, being first Grammy, like these are things that, this is Philadelphian energy. And I think a lot of places only exist as much as they can try to kind of keep Philadelphia hidden while they kind of take some of the skill set and swag that Philly has, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Considering that you have bounced around and, you know, you've had success in these other markets, what brings you back to Philadelphia to say...
The murder rate.
Got it.
You can't, like, I have to make sure that our solutionary center, so I'll back up a bit. We used to only do classes in Philadelphia in 2016, maybe 2017. When we concentrated on conflict resolution and basic firearm safety, the violent crime level was the lowest it had been since like 1969 or 59 or something like that. Yeah. It plummeted. All we did was conflict resolution and basic firearms classes. Then we started touring around the country. Every year that we spent more time in different cities, violent crime went down in those cities and in those places around the nation.
Crept up here.
Licenses to carry when we concentrate here go up. Violent crime goes down. So I have to create our solutionary center, which we have already. That needs to be top priority, and we're focusing on trying to buy that outright. We need 1,956 more donors at the $100 level, and we'll be able to get our building. You can't, as much as I speak about the greatness of these athletes, entertainers, politicians, and just great minds that are from Philly and lead for their own individual success, I'm gonna be a little bit critical of them in a respectful way, as their brother, as their elder, as their young boy, whatever. They never come back and build anything here, and that's the part that separates. And I can't speak for what they do in their personal life. I can only speak of what they publicize,
Right.
Because I don't want anybody to be like, Maj, as soon as he sat down the realest podcast ever, here he come talking about, and it's not that.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to be the person that says, hey, we can build something here. We, our community center, we teach phlebotomy, yoga, plumbing, anything that anybody wants to teach a class on, they can teach it at our center for free.
Right.
All we ask is if you do a free class, if you do a paid class, we actually do a free class. And if you pay, you want to use the space, whatever, if you charge for tickets, just give us something as a donation.
Yeah.
Right. So until I can make that, our team can make that a strong opportunity. And it's not just the gear, right? And people, every day of the week, there's 2 or 3 classes going on there that the people can benefit from. I can't say I've been successful in Philadelphia. I've had touches of success.
Yeah.
Black Guns Matter is, we cited in the Supreme Court decision, the Bruin decision. So technically, Black Guns Matter is American history. Yeah. But that's just one, facet of what our communities need. We need the conflict resolution. We need the trades and skills. We need the financial literacy. We need all of these things that is a holistic approach. Right. And so for that, those are the reasons why I continue to come back to Philly. Because I'm not going to be the person that, like if I was just focusing just on sales, like I would have been open to dispensary. I'd have $10 million in cash by it. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
But that's not really what our community needs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just want to challenge some of those brothers that I named and sisters that I named, challenge them respectfully, but based on action and deed. I want to say, this is what I built, and I got one coming in Atlanta. Do y'all want to match and put one in a different part of Philly or something similar? Right. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's a Philadelphia issue, or is that national through all the major black cities?
Nah, it's a Philly thing.
Okay.
It's a Philly thing. I can't. Shouts to my brother Killer Mike and T.I. They got Bankhead Seafood about to open. Killer Mike then had some sort of business in Bank, and T.I. a construction company for some time. And I'm just utilizing those brothers because I just saw that they about to open that shop.
Yeah.
No. When I'm talking to people from Detroit, shouts to Rick Ector, who has Legally Armed in Detroit, and he does the women's firearms training every year. Last year, I think he trained like 1,000 women.
That's amazing.
Over like 2 days, right? He has that over there in Detroit. Shouts to, he ain't talked to me in a minute, man, because he tripping, but he kind of ghosted me at one of the solutionary summits. But shouts to our brother Royster 5'9". He got Heaven Studios in Detroit, where they from. These are places that I've been and saw. Every time I'm in LA, I go to Nip's spot. Nip's legacy in Compton is like, come on, bro. That place where he used to hustle and trap from, that he turned into his shop, that's about to be a high rise that his family and the community is going to benefit from forever. That's in Compton, where he's from. Obviously, there's people that do certain things in New York. My point is J 40/40 Club. You know what I'm saying? No, this is, and by and large, in my experience, it's a Philadelphia thing, because Philadelphia is a very real place, and it's very, very difficult, and it's a beautiful juxtaposition between when you make it, Philly will support you, but when you on your way up, oh man,
yeah, nigga, whatever.
What are you doing?
right.
What are you doing?
Right, and so I think that scars a lot of people that are not. None of them people that I named are community activists. I am a community activist.
Yes, you are.
And so I think there's a way to showcase that you can make, millions upon millions of dollars and give, like, to this point, we've already given away over $700,000 for these classes over the years. Yeah. We've raised it and given away. I believe that getting that, my next number is $3 million in cash. At $3 million and saying I've given away $1 million, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Then getting to 10 and saying I gave away 2.5, I'm good with that. And so I have to be the example of showing that without and challenging those folks in a different way. But again, I don't negatively attack those brothers and sisters that do that, because they're not activists. They're entertainers.
Right.
So I don't, to a certain extent, I don't anticipate them being leaders. I anticipate me building something and them going, after podcasts like this, them going, oh, he got something like that, I'll put some resources behind it.
Yeah.
I don't need Meek to show up He did as much as he could from his platform with criminal justice reform.
I think in our community, I think the line is blurred with activists and entertainer.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
You know,
there are most of the people that we are highlighting, especially coming into this election season. I don't see Mysonne as an activist. I see him as a dude that, you know, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I can't call you an activist for black communities if you're leading them into the clutches of people that have sent black people to jail for a very long time.
Speak on it.
So I can't, just in the most respectful way.
Yeah.
That's not activism. That's like somewhere somebody gave you some money. And I'm not mad at that. That's free market enterprise.
Yeah.
But I can't take anybody seriously calling themselves activists if they don't know the history of the Democratic Party. They don't know the history of the Republican Party, which literally was started to free African-American people from enslavement. That's literally the history of the Republican Party. And I'm not even a Republican. I'm a libertarian. And I think that history does not reflect what the current GOP is really on right now. I'm going to be clear about that too.
Yeah.
But I definitely can't get behind somebody serious. Activist means you have to be informed. And if you're telling people that they should vote for Joe Biden in this election, you are not informed. You're not even informed based on the last 4 years, 3.5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just repeating the script.
fuck it, let's do it.
Do you think that if these people are paid, compensated for this endorsement, that needs to be disclaimed?
No.
The same way something else is like the same. Like if
Like
I'm
an infomercial will tell you.
that
these
this,
are paid
If you
actors.
take this shit, you might die. Blood.
No, they'll tell you these
da-da-da-da-da.
paid actors and you know, they'll act like the pan don't stick. You know what I'm saying?
No, I want them all to get their bags. I want Tamika Mally to still do Cadillac commercials.
yeah.
I'm not mad at somebody getting their money. And I don't need to know where you got your money from. I need the general public. I need more activists to do their job to say, the bag should be stopped based on your intelligence, not whether Cadillac is willing to give them bags of money.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them getting money. If somebody said tomorrow, if the federal government and said, you know what, all hard drugs are now lawful and you won't go to jail for it, we in this room are not going to take heroin tomorrow. No. We're going to be like, well, I'm informed on what this shit is, and I'm just not going to do it. Hey, companies and spokesperson that's getting paid to say, we have the purest heroin ever. And the commercials look like yoga centers. That's great. I'm just not taking it. Yeah. So I'm
good
not
on the
mad
dope,
at them
bro.
being...
Yeah, no smack for me.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, if you want that, cool. Do your thing. That's what freedom is, right? I would educate people, and then the bag would stop because people will be informed. So... they're not activists, so again, Tamika Mally is not an activist to me. They're just not. And I'm saying this in the most respectful way. I think Hawk Newsom is an activist. I disagree with a lot of Hawk's politics. We follow each other. I disagree with some things. I think he's trapped by that, like, if you're on right of center, then you must be down with the devils. I disagree with that. I think we have no permanent enemies or permanent friends. I think we have permanent interests.
How dangerous is that sort of rhetoric where it's like we're castigating people for their political affiliations when once upon a time we didn't even talk about this shit.
Right.
Like,
Like-
it was something
And when
like
I was young, we didn't.
we
don't talk about religion, sex, or politics.
You don't ask nobody.
And
who they
now-
vote.
That's like saying, yo, how much money you got in your pocket right now? Like, what the fuck? Why you asking? You about to try to rob me?
Yeah,
Yo, you had sex yesterday? Like,
Right.
just random shit. Like,
Girl,
yeah.
pussy good, bro. What are we doing?
So, hey, shorty, do you have a gag reflex? Like, what the
Yo,
fuck
your girl
are you
pussy
asking
good?
me that for? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we've gotten completely I want to use the right word. We've gotten very like casual.
I was gonna say
with everything.
inappropriate.
And inappropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got
bordering
casual,
inappropriate.
your casuality of it and your inappropriate nature of it has excelled, and your information base about it has decreased.
Yes.
Most of the people that I named, do not know civics. I teach a civics class every week.
Yes.
I am a fucking nerd. Like, most people that the general public doesn't know that there was initially 19 amendments proposed to the Bill of Rights. And then it got whittled down to 12, then it got whittled down to 10, and they didn't really want it to be separated from the Constitution. They wanted to merge it in there. The general public doesn't know that.
Right.
So if you don't even know how the system works and the founding of it, and you're talking about the Democrats you're like, this is who we should go with, I can tell that you don't know nothing about American history. So I can't look at you as an actual activist because you don't know anything.
Your
about
knowledge
it.
base is already so fucked.
So I'm not mad at you for getting the bag based off of what you know, and I'm not going to try to attack you for it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to inform the general public that you can't get the bag off of our people no more.
Right.
That's it. That's why a lot of those platforms don't want to have me on.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't really have, because I'm not adversarial. Like if I said to the general public, right, if I said, how many amendments are in the Bill of Rights? The general public will not know the answer. Right. They won't. I just said it. I said it started as 19, it dropped down to 12, and now it's 10.
Yeah.
If you ask the general public, what were the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists? And I'm talking about general public in hoods across America. Mm-hmm. And hoods is black, white. If you do not live in a gated community, you probably in a hood. Right? So if you don't know the founding history of the place that you in, and you don't know the civic process of the city that you're in. When I ran for city council, I picked that spot because I know the position that a city council person has. People think that the mayor runs shit, and they don't. Yeah. Especially if their council does not agree with them. They won't be able to get anything done. I think that the rhetoric isn't dangerous. The ignorance is dangerous.
Got it.
And so I don't be tripping about these people that use their celebrity to look like they are activists. I just know that they won't get in the room with me, and I'm not mad at it. Yeah. And I understand why. I'm going to fuck your bag up. I understand it. Yeah. But I'm not interested in the money if you pimping Cadillac, who cares? Cadillac has billions. I don't care. Right. I care that you're telling people a thing that I have a solution for that is you're repeating a thing based on what I choose to identify as your ignorance. You don't know. I don't think that these people are trying to willingly and intelligently lead people astray. Like, Plies is a political fucking moron. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Right. And if they don't know they don't have an understanding of it either, my job is to inform those people. Right. So Plies, if they still want to give you whatever they giving you, because you're really corny if you're not getting paid and you tap dancing that hard. Like, at that point, it's like, all right, bro, it's nothing I can do. I'm not trying to fuck your bag up that way. Yeah. Keep pimping them. But I can't let you misinform the people. I'm just going to inform the people. Right. Because I'm not here to create division. And me saying that Plies is a political moron, that part is factual. Me saying that my opinion that Mysonne and Tamika Mally are not activists, that's not an attack on them. I'm explaining what my definition of activism is. Yeah. I have a community center. I teach a bunch of things to people regardless, or our team. And the people in our communities that want to do this and inform the people, that's the building that you can go do that in for free. And if anyone takes that offensively, it's not my intent. And you can best me with your work and proof of work. Right. But if you're just talking about, why we should be Democrats because we black, and again, I'm not a Republican. I am a libertarian. Yeah.
So we always talk about, especially on our Patreon, when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Mm-hmm. How'd you feel when you heard that?
I don't feel nothing from man. He been told us who we was. It's nothing that these people do outside of policy and legislation that bothers me. Like, what's more damaging to that is him floating the idea of a 45.6% capital gains tax. It's like, what? Yeah. If I sell a house federally, because they ain't even talk about local and state tax. Mm-hmm. Right. Federally, if I sell a house and make a $300,000 profit, $150 damn near of that goes to the government. That's scary to me. Right. Yeah. Like, his opinion about, he don't even know where the fuck he at. So I can't get offended by man. Yeah. He doesn't know what he's doing. The scarier thing is the people that's puppeteering him. Yeah. That's I was never concerned about George W. Bush Jr. Yeah. I was concerned about Dick Cheney. Right. And Halliburton. You see what I'm saying? But even these are names that the general public, like if you said, yo, who was Ronald Reagan's vice president? Nobody listening knows who that was. Yeah. Right? If I say Dick Cheney and the general public goes, I don't know who the fuck that is. And they don't even make the connection between Halliburton. Right? So my job is knowing that is to drop that out there and then explain to people in these classes what that means and how that impacts them. But him saying, if you ain't vote for me, you ain't black, he's less mentally there than he was decades ago when he said he doesn't want his children growing up in a racial jungle. And it's like, okay. Right. He was much more competent when he said, oh, Obama's one of the clean ones. That's him. That's not me making it up. That's what main man said.
Yeah, these are on the record.
He's on record. This is the same person that created legislation that some of us have people probably still doing time based on nonviolent drug offenses.
Man. Let me ask you this.
So to me, him saying, I don't think you're black unless you vote for me, that's a laughable thing to me. But the policy that he created, peep this. You know, gun-free zones, them yellow pictures? Mm-hmm. You know, Joe Biden co-authored that in 1990. Mm-hmm. He and other legislators made that. Right. In 1991, it went into effect under the Clinton crime bills, right? Since 1991, over 90% of mass shootings have been in gun-free school zones. That is legislation that is far more scary to me than him talking about whether I don't give a fuck about main man. I smack fire out him. Like, that's not, he's an insignificant being. Right. However, the policy that's created, that shit got our fucking uncles and aunties in a stern.
Yeah. So how then do we now know that that legislation exists, know that he did it, know that Hillary used terms like super predators to describe young black men that were in power situations that were making bad decisions, and then now fast forward to 2020 election, now 2024 election, it's like, yeah, well, so what? Like, how do we get to the social apathy part of like, so what, when this the undoing of what they laid down from 1990 to 1996 is just now starting to unravel now because of private organizations like Reform and work that Jay-Z did, you know, in New York, changing the drug laws and stuff like that.
This is why they pay people to say a lie. Yeah. Like, and I'm not like, I got friends that tell me that the Biden administration hit them up, like celebrities. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, they did? And I see them still kind of like, the Biden administration has been so bad this term that they can't just be like, yo, I'm down with. So they just try to go, let's attack Trump.
I was going to ask, like, what grade do you give the last 4 years?
I said day one, he was going to be the worst president in American history. It's a tweet. Well, I don't know if people can find it on my old Twitter because we got some of your tweets. All right, I got kicked off of Twitter, right? But yeah, I said day one, he was going to be the worst president ever. Economically, socially, politically, and security-wise. A president is the commander-in-chief. They have 3 jobs. The job is based on a system of checks and balances. He runs the executive branch, he or potentially she. I hope we get a woman president at a certain point, right? And that's not me pandering to women. It's just like, all right, bro, we tried it, all of the dudes.
Yeah, y'all all burnt.
Y'all all fucked up. Like, what? Yeah, like, come on.
44,
like, right, at least one of them is going to be like, at least a woman is like, can we at least just not go to war type shit?
It's not 46 because some of them was double time.
Yeah, it was double time. But my point in saying that is that job is to defend the Constitution, secure the borders, and command the armed forces. That's the only job that a president is supposed to do. Yeah. And when a president is saying, we're going to sue the state of Texas for defending its own border, when your job is to defend the border, you got 1 out of 3 jobs. You already failed at one of them. Mm-hmm. The Biden administration sued Texas for defending their border. They sued them, saying, no, you got to take all of that, the gates and ropes.
Yeah, let them in. Let them do what the fuck they want.
Right? You're telling me that your administration is incompetent. When you are talking about slashing all of the policies that were, if we go to money for HBCUs, if we just go to the money for historically black colleges, the Trump administration put money there, more money. Right. This is not me trying to tap dance for Trump. This is just me saying what happened. Right. And the problem is everybody want to act like when you just calling it up balls and strikes, and I'm supposed to ignore the balls and strikes when the team on the left is fucking up. Yeah. And I'm not. So the reason why it goes that way is because everybody wants a bag from the team that they're on. I don't give a fuck about either one of these teams. I give a fuck about hoods across America. Right. And sometimes the left get it right on certain more social programs. Mm-hmm. They do. And if government is supposed to be limited, then the limited amount of government is supposed to have some sort of benefit for the people. So, okay, I could get some sort of social benefit if it's in the Constitution, Congress votes on it, the budget is there, cool, help out. I think the right gets certain things right on individual rights, constitutionally protected rights, and border security, and don't fuck with us or we'll shoot you.
Right.
That's the job. But everybody retreats to their team and doesn't want to say what's better for the team America, team people, team hood, right? And again, hood is most Americans of any ethnic background.
Yeah, whether it's in a rural area or
suburban. I just happen to be repping for the urban ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Mostly. So the switch happens when the general public isn't aware of that because they don't study. Civics is not taught in social studies. It's not taught in schools.
Yeah.
And then they get people that are popular because they do have a passion for black people. All of the people that I named, I believe, have a passion for in their lane. I'm not saying that they are not passionate about other groups of people,
right?
But we know that they have a passion for the community, black communities that they're a part of. Those people have a passion and they get a following, but they don't get an education or an information base for the things that they're talking about. Then later they do get some sort of exposure to the information. Now they're scared to tell the truth because their base is going to be like, oh, you sold out.
Right.
It's like, no, just to the Republican Party, Frederick Douglass, no one's going to challenge the fact of how black he was. No one's going to challenge that. He was a Republican. So, like, again, as the libertarian on the outside of it, I know that the general public doesn't have that history. And even if those pundits that have passion for their community are now financed because they get a following and they get a good social media following, social media activism type energy, now if they do get the information, they're scared to go left or go right, for a better way of saying it. Or they just never get the information because they create a silo. You can't tell me, like, listen, if you are advocating for the party that has historically incarcerated, enslaved, abused our community, and you can't show me policy when that change happened that has been beneficial for our communities, I can't take you seriously as an activist or a leader. I just take you as you're getting a bag from your popularity for your passion for black people. Right. And I'll give you there. But the reason why that apathy or that happens, because the people that are placed as your leadership don't inform the people. They don't educate them. They don't say, here's what actually happened. They say, them white folks is against us. And that's like baby level understanding of shit. Like when you just say, because if I was to say, well, all of the black people are insert whatever thing. Black people like, yo, bro, how you putting us all in that same box?
We ain't a monolith. What you talking about?
Right. There are some, maybe they wasn't raised right, but there are some black Philadelphians that are Cowboys fans. Like that exists. I don't know.
No, I'm here.
Right. So like, it becomes like you can't just say everybody in Philadelphia is this. It's just like, no, it's like, all right, what we can do is go, man, come over my house on this game when we play, and the next game when the Eagles and the Cowboys play, it's gonna be Team Cowboys over here. It's gonna be Team such and such, and then we can find some sort of common ground around that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not me going like, no, if you're not an Eagles fan, you're a horrible Philadelphian. What the fuck are you talking about? And we play it that same way.
Yeah.
And the difference is, this ain't bread and circuses that we dealing with like a sports ball game. We're dealing with politics, which is how the world's resources are moved. Right? Civics is the understanding of how that process goes. So the people that get popular because they have a passion for black people, either uneducated, they just have a passion for black people. Social media made it where they can generate a following. Corporate interests say, you believe in Black Lives Matter. We'll give you a Cadillac. We'll give you some money from Cadillac. I'm not mad at them extorting.
Giving a black person a Cadillac is so...
Which is wild in and of itself. Yeah. Like, we know you like Cadillacs, you blacks. You love a caddy. Right? Since the 60s, that was the stereotype.
Yes.
So I'm not mad at them for doing a thing. If Cadillac want to give me a Cadillac and or $200,000 to buy the Solutionary Center, everybody's going to see exactly what I did with the fucking bread. Right. If one of these big cannabis companies want to give me some bread, and I'm like, yo, don't give me the bread, do this and buy me a Bentley. I'm going to tell, you said earlier, I'm very transparent.
Yes, very.
I told everybody what my sellout number is. It's $800 million.
Right.
If some goofy ass Federal Reserve person is going to say to me, you know what, Maj? You're making a serious impact and we want that to stop, right? We going to give you $800 million.
Shut the fuck up and go away.
I'm going to shut the
forever.
fuck up and go away. That's what's going to happen. The problem is some of these people have got shut up money and they're not honest about it, right? And they're never going to.
And
like,
the shut up money ain't 800
it ain't
million.
800 million,
Yeah.
right? My thing is this. First of all, you guys are insane if you give me $800 million. I am going to be an economic terror on anything. You said I don't have to say nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be building all kind of shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll deploy all my super soldiers to do my work for me.
Man, my force multiplier level is going overnight.
Yeah, because now I got the bag to employ people to do whatever I need them to do.
And I know y'all not going to give me that. So that's my sellout number. Not for no, like, gay shit. Like, no Diddy, right? But it ain't going to be, but it's going to be like, hey, we just need you to be quiet. All right, cool. You don't got to try to trump me on, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Simply just give me $800 million. I know you're not, but I'm telling everybody, if y'all see me show up with two Bentleys, a black one and a white one, Bentley Continental GT, the same car, stop fucking listening to me.
I'm on some
You
bullshit.
sold out.
I'm on some bullshit.
I'm on some bullshit.
I'm
I sold
100%
out.
on some bullshit.
They got
Man,
to me.
Hey guys, maybe guns aren't the answer. Like, it's done. My point is, I believe that some of these people initially had passion. Huge shouts, and God bless the dead, to Darren Sills, who was very open about that.
I've seen you
Them
bring up
Black
Darren
Lives
Sills,
Matter
man.
people, that's not who we started as the Ferguson movement.
Yeah.
Magically, he got shot in the head and his car set on fire, right? My point in saying all of this is, I'm not quantifying or saying that all of the people that I named have taken the bag and they're selling the people out. I am of the belief that you got a bag because it's social media. You are activists.
You have audience share, and everybody's mining for audience share
boom.
right now.
And does that translate into you actually being an activist? No, it doesn't. Yeah. Does this mean that I'm attacking these people personally and they have family members and loved ones? No, it's not that either. I'm not going to be a divisive, like, I'm not going to do that. But I'm also not going to lie and be like, yeah, they're doing, I think I've seen Hawk Newsom feed the people. I've seen it. I've seen, and I disagree with Hawk on stuff, right? But I can see it, right? And I don't think that, I don't think that the general public understands how much that the people that are popular that have a platform don't understand. They do not understand civics. That is how this place runs. Anybody that's in opposition to unconstitutional laws usually gets arrested.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, pretty much every election since we've been alive has kind of not really dealt in civics or real policy. It's dealt in more emotion,
Right.
and feeling.
Right.
That's what it's been.
And then, like, when I give some of these names, right? Okay. And this is not an attack. I just keep prefacing it with that. And it's the last time I preface it that way, because if you motherfuckers take it some type of way, what the fuck, you ain't gonna do shit to me. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the last time. Everyone knows I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If you take it that way, well,
from
lace
this
up the
point
fucking
forward-
shoe.
Yeah.
Right. If lace up the shoe because it fit, right? But like, you didn't hear Tamika Mallory's about to make a resurfacing. Where were they? They like Kamala Harris. They disappeared for 3 years. You didn't see Kamala Harris for a year and 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Now they about to resurface. It's like run the same play.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all listen to these people. They've identified that they're super black. Your definition of what super black has been fucking warped
And co-opted.
and co-opted from the gate.
Yeah.
So they about to run the same play. And I want those people to get a bag off of these corporations. But let's be clear that that's what that is.
Yeah.
And I think that the general public just needs a new class and a new class of activists, and to question what their definition of activism is, right? And it's in alignment with the actual definition, not what we're being presented as.
Yeah. How did you get so educated about civics and government and how this country runs?
I used to, when I was in school, I went to William Penn. It doesn't exist anymore. Temple
out
turned
to
that shit
William
into
Penn,
a
man.
crack.
Yeah.
I used to trap in school, and if it wasn't no hustles, like I couldn't bust no traps, it wasn't called bust traps then, right?
Wasn't jugging either,
Right,
young
right.
fellas.
I don't even know that.
You are, you was grinding.
Right, I was grinding.
Yeah.
So if it was slow, I would leave and take tours. So first, back in the day, everybody used to go to like the gallery to get their gear. Gap, Dr. Denim, all that type shit, right? So I would go to other places like Old City to try to find different lay. And so, but I would just be in different spaces. And then I'm a fan of like, I'll walk past a door to this day and the door look interesting and I'll just see, where the fuck this go? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
And so I would take tours of shit and be like, motherfuckers would be like, I would take the tour of City Hall because I would be getting blasted. And there's, I don't know if y'all knew this. Y'all know it's an elevator at City Hall to go all the way to the top of William Penn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would be up there getting blasted and just looking at the city. Yeah. And then I would come down and just take different tours. And I would take tours of like Independence Hall. And then I would be hearing these stories. Mind you, I got uncles and everybody giving me books at the same time on like the ISIS papers and Nile Valley contributions to civilization and the autobiography of Malcolm X. So I have all of these stories and Harriet Tubman and all of this other shit. I'm equating all of them as freedom fighters. But I will come back to school and I'm like, yo, are we gonna take a tour of this joint? Like, why you ain't talking about this?
Right.
And they like, what? Where'd you even know this from?
Yeah.
Like when I would tell teachers like, yo, y'all know the Marines was founded in Philly. And they would be like,
they like, nigga, you out here learning outside of school?
What?
The fuck is
Boy,
wrong
do the
with you?
test and shut the fuck up. Right?
Filling
And
your Scantron and sit the fuck back.
Right. And it would just be like, oh, y'all not really telling me. And then, younger, my mom got remarried. I moved down south and I was in a different school. And I'm like, oh, they teaching this here, but not there.
Right.
Then when I dropped out of school, I dropped out in the 10th grade and I tried to go back here and there, but I just was like, nah, this shit cap. And so I just knew, and being exposed to all of that different stuff and like loving to read like Greek mythology and them stories. And then for a while, if you, going to like King's Dominion, there's a colonial Williamsburg, which is damn near a whole city,
right?
Restructured just like in days of olden. And they would give tours. So I would be like, yo, we in King's Dominion, let's take a tour of XYZ. Then it would be like, yo, Gettysburg and Valley Forge is right up the street.
Right.
So I would just be taking all of these tours and I never had nobody. The example that I give is all of the greatest high school basketball players that go to the NBA, they skip college where if college, you Kobe, you 6'6", you only a shooting guard. In high school, he could be a point guard, he could be a shooting guard, he definitely gonna be a center because none of the high schoolers is 6'6". College, they would have said, this all you do. Because he went straight from the high school to the NBA, his game continued to be more well-rounded. Because I left high school and I was only absorbing information, I never had nobody to tell me. Most of the teachers didn't know what the fuck I was talking about as far as this history and civics and all of that. And they like, look, they underpaid, bro. You just one of the quiet ones or you don't really be doing too much in class. Please don't ask me no extra shit to do, right? So
how you the student giving me homework?
Right.
Like, this is too much.
Yeah. So we'll be like, all right, cool.
I got this Martin Luther King stuff.
It's February, bro.
Yeah.
Like Rosa Parks, have a seat.
Right.
So saying this to say, like a college coach would have molded somebody to be like, this is your lane. I was able to absorb all of the information, not have to have a job. And then I worked at like Foot Locker, right? So when my job wasn't like this job that was super political or I had to only go one way, I was still involved in sales.
And you was busting traps.
And I was busting traps at the gallery. And so it would still be, I'm engaging all of these people. I got access to all of this information. I'm taking the information and there's nobody to say to separate it. And I just was synthesizing all of it. Not knowing, because mind you, this years ago, not knowing that all of this would culminate in the activism, into this. So when you talk about, when I hear people say like, on both sides, they'll pick and choose and say, oh, America isn't about violence. And I'm like, yes, the fuck it is. It was literally founded on violence.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not all about money. Yes, the fuck it is. This whole place was built on sales.
Free market economy.
Free market enterprise.
Laissez-faire business.
Whether it's, wheat, cotton, humans, who gives a shit? Labor, right? So when that ties into labor unions and who can organize the labor. Right. And those conversations go into all of these different places. I just had nobody that was either informed or attempted to try to cement or put a ceiling on my shit. And I just stayed me the whole time.
Right.
And so because of that, it was a more robust thing. And because I knew that so many people didn't know, it was very difficult to make me not be successful because I meet people where they at. And I take seemingly complex things or even complex things and can translate them very, very simply. And I'm not going, oh, you a libtard because I'm more right of center or even center. I go, yo, to a certain extent, it ain't your fault. I know that your school capped you up here. I know that there's definitely a media 24/7 approach to make sure that you stay misinformed. Yeah. I know that you are under you at the center of the scope of the misinformation gun. So because of that, I don't be tripping. Just like I'm saying, I'm not tripping that these people are getting bags off of corporate entities because they're popular. They've proved their passion for black communities. I'm not saying that they don't care about black people. I'm just saying, get your bag. But understand, if you talk to me about that or some of your followers ask me about that shit, my truth going to reflect your ignorance or your lie.
Right.
And so that's why you never see Maj in the Breakfast Club. You can't have no fucking sit down with him. He definitely not in the fucking election year.
I mean, but here's the thing. Charlemagne is taking like a sharp turn off of, the leftist shit.
No, he hasn't. It's cap. It's a strategy.
Oh, it's a strategy. Okay, all right.
The strategy is to look like they're being objective. The strategy is to pretend like they were objective. Watch them. I know what you're talking about. What they mean. What they looking like.
He's been asking more aggressive, more pressing, more like shining the light on a lot of the bullshit that they've been doing.
He ain't shining the light on the bullshit. He's saying the things that his base, because the general public is going, what the fuck? With the Biden has been so bad that you can't approach your talking points the same way now.
That's a fact.
So you got to appear to be. I'm gonna tell you when he's gonna switch back to this tap dance shit. Soon as, because everybody in the world knows that Biden was not going to be the president again.
Yes.
Everybody knew they're going to switch him out. It's probably Gavin Newsom, probably Kamala Harris. The only divide will be Kamala might feel like I'm next up in line. Y'all got to kiss the ring next. I endured my last 3 years, and don't come talking about you trying to put Gavin Newsom in.
But I saw something recently, a story that broke, I think it was through CBS News, basically saying that the majority of Democrats want to just shuck the whole ticket. They like, y'all are burnt. Y'all are completely toxic.
Because they want Gavin Newsom.
The ticket.
Because they want Gavin Newsom. He young, he Obama-esque. He's a devil. He's a 100% a devil. My point in saying that is, though, that's when Charlemagne and them, once they get, all right, look, I was just mad because everybody sees that Biden and them, they just wasn't getting it done. So I couldn't tell my following, da-da-da-da. They in alignment with, they got the playbook.
Right.
The media, the most effective devil in America, is in league with fucking government.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
So, again, I won't put his name out there. Some people might know who I'm talking about. He's a buddy of mine. I've done his podcast before. I've talked to him on the phone. He's like, yeah, the Biden administration reached out to me. There is no fucking reason that the Biden administration should be reaching out to fucking pundits that do not have at least some solid degree in political science. None of these pundits have a degree in political science. None of them. Mm-hmm. None of them are smarter than me as it relates to politics. So that's why if I sat down with them and said, how many members of Congress is it? They wouldn't know the fucking answer. But they feel qualified to have conversations about political things, and they've done none of the fucking research. They don't even know how local government works. They get handed a piece of paper before the class start. They say a particular thing. This is what you're supposed to say. Do not have people on that could challenge that. They'll have people on, like somebody that I respect. She's on the left side of the aisle, Nina Turner. Even her arguments have been more balanced than extreme leftist Democrats. Yeah. I still think they'd still tap dancing too much about what the fuck Trump doing. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Y'all got to do that because y'all playing gang politics. Right. But saying that to say, he not being more objective. He just appearing to be more objective until they slide Gavin Newsom in there.
Then you think it's going to completely flip once that happens?
If I'm lying, I'm flying. There's a hashtag that exists on social media that says Maj is mostly right. If people start looking at that hashtag for the shit that I said 2 years ago Biden wasn't going to be main man.
Yeah.
I said, I am of the belief that we're not even going to have a fucking election in November. Why? Because as all of this shit is happening, Biden, in league with NATO, is still fucking encroaching in Ukraine. And that's the exact reason why Putin was like, when Trump was in office, I ain't going to invade Ukraine.
Right.
Just stop trying to get Ukraine into NATO.
Yeah.
NATO's job, they pretend like they peace and prosperity. They are about controlling and expanding NATO's interests.
Absolutely.
So because of that, in the middle of all of this, Putin's like, I'm going to fuck y'all up if need be. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Somehow, magically, when Trump was in office, he didn't invade Ukraine. Just magically. But as soon as, the same place where Hunter Biden was doing deals, and there's been a hotbed of fucking illegal money laundering for decades in Ukraine, now all of a sudden, y'all want to get Ukraine into NATO, which was the one fucking thing. See, this is what I'm talking about. The pundits don't even understand local and domestic politics, let alone internationally.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the fuck Burisma is. My point in saying this is the people that are talking about these things are not qualified.
That's a fact.
And this don't mean you gotta go to college per se. I'm a high school dropout.
Yeah.
This means how much time have you put into this craft that makes you think that you qualified to lead our people on any of this shit?
Yeah.
Any of it. Y'all just repeat these talking points. Trump bad.
Biden good.
Biden
That's what we
good.
been saying, yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You are misleading our people, and whether it's through ignorance or deliberate manipulation, both of them are fucking dastardly.
Now, you said you're a libertarian.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you see happening? You said no. You said you don't think there's going to be an election in November.
I think it's probably going to be a war. They keep trying to provoke, we're going to blow up some shit in Russia, and it's going to be American missiles. First of all, we're not even supposed to be in proxy wars, because they call it a proxy war or conflict, or we're supporting our allies. Because in order to actually go officially to war, you have to get 2/3 of Congress to vote on it.
Right.
And that has not happened. So Yemen, Syria, Iran, North Korea, fucking the East Taiwan Sea, and Ukraine, we just helping our allies.
Yeah.
$200 billion of y'all tax money.
Right.
In fucking Ukraine, where they launder the money. So y'all keep encroaching into Ukraine. You're asking for nuclear war. That's what I think. It could be, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, we've been talking about this shit for 2 years, and the fact that all of this shit started over that fucking port in the Ukraine, and basically Putin saying you was part of USSR, you still are annexed to us, give us access to the port, we'll protect you, we'll control you, whatever, don't fuck with NATO. And instead of Biden saying, you know what, Trump left that shit alone, we gonna leave that shit alone, he decided to basically be their profiteer,
right?
Be the person to funnel the money through there and ghost produce this war.
Then when you say that, somehow you anti-black. What the fuck? And this is what I'm saying, like, we be talking to people that don't know the fucking politic. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about shit, that shit above your pay grade and your knowledge base.
Yeah.
And so I don't care if your pay grade is what it is. I care about your knowledge base. And you saying this like, if Putin's left, he gonna conquer, he gonna be like Hitler, he gonna Mussolini. Okay, you saying that, and I hear you. But Obama invaded more nations than Putin. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not me like hating on the black dude. This is me just saying what the fuck happened.
How did that history of what Obama was doing in real time, drone strikes, missile strikes, invasions, all this, how did that just get wafted over?
Because he's the best politician America has ever seen.
Yeah, he bore Jay out.
He bore Hove out.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite politicians, because when I believe that something is, I can't finesse this, I look to Obama.
Right. How can I finesse this?
It's like look at, if I'm pimping, I'm trying to get a shorty, I'm gonna look up to what would Future do? I'm gonna look up to I think I can't finesse this shit. Obama finessed everybody into believing that. They gave him a Nobel Peace Prize as he bombed more black nations internationally than any president in world history.
Yeah, Obama showed up day one like, I don't want y'all to think I fuck with them niggas or I'm in bed with them. Bomb their asses.
Bomb them. While promoting the LGBTQ plus agenda. And that's not me knocking him.
Yeah.
The Audacity of Hope is one of my favorite books of all time. Him being the first president of Harvard Law School and all of that, love it. No scandals as it relates to his family. I can give you a pro and a con for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But politically, his finesse capability was outstanding. And he had the media with him. And if you challenged him in some way, and this is where people on the right, Republicans, they just did it wrong. Y'all made it, y'all repeated shit that it was easy to make you look like you just racist and hate Obama. You said, this fucking guy is these kind of people. What do you mean these people? Your PR was off.
Right.
No one that's watching this podcast is gonna be like, Maj is racist. Maj is self-hating. They're not gonna say that. They're gonna say, nah, that motherfucker was calling it up the middle. Because the way that I speak about it, no one can challenge my commitment to my community. Yeah. I have a community center where we gave away $700,000 to serve our community. Right. So when I'm being critical, I got skin in the game. I'm just being critical on both sides, but the left tends to make so many horrible decisions, and their legislation is so bad, but their PR is so good. But when I can see through the PR vanity, and I call it, no one's gonna be like, oh, Maj is a sellout, Maj is a coon, Maj is some people might say it, but it's like, all right, show my file though. Show my file based on what actually happened.
Right.
Yeah, I think Obama did as good as he was supposed to be able to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he had that. I'm looking at he did 1,900 pardons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he did what he was supposed to do. Just getting in there and having no scandal, no uproars, no nothing.
And him being a symbol, there are cultural and psychological benefits, right, to a room. But
I said that last week on Patreon.
When I'm talking about the job that you did, like, did you got 3 jobs as the executive, the commander-in-chief. Did you get us in new wars? He did. Did you secure the borders? He did not. Did he support the Constitution? He did not. I'm sorry, that's my litmus test, right? So those are where he got it wrong. Yeah. And here are the symbols in the arenas that I could go, that was good for the psychology of young black kids. Going, I could be the president. Right. I could be this. I could be that. And that's cool, right? But now that's not enough. I need some substance behind the symbolism.
I need some policy. I need
some
action.
the policy and the legislation.
Infrastructure. I need some capital.
And now he opened some money up for some real estate shit. Yep. Federal funds for if you was a first-time home buyer and some shit like that. I gotta call balls and strikes. Right. But as far as like internationally, nah, bro. And when Trump was in, Trump's like, man, I'm getting out of this. I'm getting out of this Paris Accord. I'm getting out of this. How does this benefit us? Yeah. I think Trump still be dick riding Israel a little too hard. But I get it. That's the money. Right. I understand. Get over there and touch the wall. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. Secure the bag. That's the same to me as, now, it's still gotta be based in the Constitution. Yeah. But I'm not mad. Tamika and them, get the Cadillac. Touch the steering wheel. I'm not mad at you. Touch the wall. When it comes back to how does this impact policy and the people in the communities that I'm at, even if you believe in Jewish value systems, I don't care. Javier Milei, who's now the president of Argentina, is a hardcore ANCAP libertarian. He got over there and touched that wall. Cool. Grease them palms and get a couple of them dollars and make sure it's good for the people of Argentina. See, I'm not a person that says, because I'm telling you, if Home Depot be like, you know what, Maj, we heard you doing some stuff around trades and we want to give you $2 million. You think I'm not gonna be on a fucking Home Depot commercial? I'm doing that shit.
Dancing, hitting the hammer.
I'm hitting the hammer. Tank top on, motherfucking sweating and shit, hard hat. You gonna think I'm the urban version of the goddamn village people. This is what's gonna happen. But these resources is gonna go to where they need to go. Right. So I'm not judging nobody for getting to a bag, but what I am gonna say is, if somebody asks me, was the policy and the legislation in alignment with the benefit of our community, I gotta say no. Right. I have to be honest. And it's not a hard flex for you to find out that what I'm saying is accurate. Yeah. And it's not me going like, yeah, self-hate. I hate Obama. I'm not one of these dudes running around going, oh, Michelle Obama's a dude. I don't give a fuck. That is not policy or legislation. That's what I'm saying. Why people on the right, why the fuck are y'all even saying this shit? Yeah. That has nothing to do. Like, you're making it easier for leftists to say that you are a racist. Because what the fuck? Okay, maybe Michelle Obama, because I haven't seen no pictures of her pregnant. I haven't. But who gives a fuck? If she's really a dude and those aren't their children biologically, tell me what impact that has for your economics. See, I'm from the Claude Anderson energy. Yeah. Like,
Shout out Dr. Claude Anderson.
Like what? So like, and then
We bring him
arguing
up on the
over
show
these
all the
things
time.
that don't tie you back into policy.
Yeah.
Now it's easier for those leftist propagandists to make you look like you the racist, and you maybe not be, but your PR game is trash.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't make it so easy for your ops to point out your bullshit.
because I'm telling you again, let a leftist media PR company come through and be like, "Hey, Maj, we want to give you $5 million to trash the right." Y'all, it'll be easy. It'll be the easiest money I ever had.
Right.
The fact that I did a presentation years ago on Frederick Douglass at CPAC, which is this Conservative Political Action Conference. I was on right before then President Trump. I gave a whole dissertation on Frederick Douglass. And I'm like, do y'all even know? Y'all are conservatives. Frederick Douglass, black ass Afro Frederick Douglass, is the top tier Hall of Fame checklist example of conservative values. Limited government, individual rights, do what you want, fuck the system. That is Frederick Douglass.
Right.
Nobody has a more crazy story. Maybe Robert Smalls has a crazier story, but he should be the person that y'all are utilizing. I showed them a picture of Frederick Douglass without the beard and the afro. They didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
So my point in saying all of this is you weren't doing your job, but the left is doing their job of painting you a certain way. You're not even utilizing the best examples that you have to highlight what conservatism is and limited government is, that black people across America will go, like, you cannot call a Republican slaves if the mascot and the leader of the conservative movement, the face of it, was Frederick Douglass.
Right.
You can't, but y'all don't do it. So maybe y'all like it how it is.
Right. I want to get into this Trump assassination attempt.
Yeah.
And then I want to take you to the conspiracy corner and then come back to Biden and some policy stuff. Literally, the most discussed topic in the world right now. I saw the amazing podcast episode that you did with Nick Irving.
Yeah.
Talking about this and going through scenarios and
That was
all
my
that
girl
stuff.
idea.
Yeah, y'all did. Listen, she should get the #1 executive producer credit for that. That was phenomenal. Give me your initial thoughts when the news broke.
Yeah, I figured this was coming. Listen, it's either two things with this Trump situation, right? Or maybe three. One, Trump the ops 2. And the sleight of hand is to make you look like, I can't remember who it was, but it was some Illuminati-esque person that was like, when they need a hero, we will supply him for them.
Mm-hmm.
So he does do things that is in his own way and he not down with them, right? But at the same time, when he was in office, he shut the nation down for the COVID shit. When he could have been like, the governor of South Dakota was like, listen, we're not shutting business down.
Right.
But if you're feeling a little feverish, go get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
Right? He pushed Operation Warp Speed. That was him. He had the biggest spending government. That's not conservative. That's overspending in government.
Yeah.
So now I get it. When the money fountains is flowing, people happy. So don't get me wrong, but the question becomes, he really the ops, and this was all part of the play. And this is giving a lot of credit to the deep state.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one option. And they wanted him the whole time. To me, I try to see what the Fed do. If the Fed keep interest rates higher, and then after the election and Trump wins, if they lower them, they wanted Trump to win.
Right.
The money. But then when I go, well, shit, all of these big companies shorted his stock a few days before his potential assassination.
Yeah, it was like 12 million shares
Yeah.
with this one company. They said it was a clerical error.
And yeah, okay.
It was supposed to be 1,200. It ended up being 12 million.
Oops, 12 million instead of 1,200. Okay, right? So to me, there's always that he either the ops or he kind of still influential, but he not all the way in with him. Now, everybody that I've spoken to and listened to, mob dudes from the 80s, was like, we can't get Trump to play. You know that labor union mob shit.
Yeah.
Trump won't play. And he was always around ex-FBI people, so he knew the game.
They said they came to him every way they could, and he just told them eat shit every time.
I'm not fucking with y'all.
Yeah.
Right? And he got enough resources I got security, I got this, I got that. He don't drink, he don't smoke. Even early on, like when people will be like, oh, he on the Trump file. My son said that on my post today too, talking about, we know Trump was in the Epstein shit. I'm like, well, so was all of the entertainers that you fuck with, and so was Hillary, so was Obama. And just because you flew on a plane and went somewhere does not mean that you had intricate knowledge of the goofy shit that Epstein was doing.
Yeah, what was going on behind closed doors and shit.
And in the late 80s, early 90s, Trump was like, yo, this dude Epstein's no longer involved or allowed in any of my country clubs. That part of the story don't get told. And again, it's not me tap dancing for Trump. I want y'all to tell the whole fucking truth.
Right.
Like, stop trying to pick one side and tell this shit to spin our people into Biden. My point is, though, he might just be somebody that's well-connected and got a bunch of money and influence, but he not all the way with them yet. He like a dude that, you know how you take a block and everybody like, who he with? And you like, he by his fucking self.
Yeah.
He a free agent. And then they like that you got pulled because you strong, but you not with them.
Right.
So they kind of like, he ain't with us.
Yeah, we'll let you get in here, get comfortable, relax yourself, and then we'll knock you off.
Yeah. And or they like, can we discredit him? Can we get him hit? Can we surveil him? They've done this. The Obama administration was surveilling the Trump Tower since 2015 when he was, and this is not me making this up. This is proven.
Yeah.
So it's like, he rich, and he would be one of us, but he not gonna kiss the ring. Like me. These people that show up that randomly are like, yo, I want you on my podcast. Famous people.
Yeah.
The Isaiah Washingtons, yo, I want to help. The other actor, these people, and they see I'm not gonna kiss the ring. They all be Democrats, right? They randomly show up. They act like they won't hook me up. They put me on a podcast. After a while, they invite me to shit, and they see I'm not gonna fuck with shit. Then they stop fucking with me.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe we was trying to turn him, and he not gonna turn, and he actually stronger on his own. I don't need your fucking work. I got my own work and my own plug, and this my corner.
Right.
In the middle of y'all shit. I built this. So it's either that or he actually is in a pocket. And when you start seeing him do touching the wall shit, I can see a case for that.
Yeah.
I can see a case for they like, nah, this is what we want. And we've supplied a hero and we made the story look right.
Right.
It's only one of them two. But the assassination component made me more lean into, nah, they just don't want him because we're not going to be able to control him. This is historically what the American government and the deep state has done. This ain't new. This is what they did to Saddam. They carved that country out of nowhere, gave it to Saddam, and then he stopped fucking doing what they told him to do, and they blew his fucking top or hung him.
They're shaping it up now with Iran, where they like, Iran is 2 weeks away from having nuclear weapons. Like, how could y'all know that unless y'all are right the fuck there in the kitchen with them, cooking this shit up?
And then the argument is always like, it's always nations that don't want a IMF or a Federal Reserve Bank in a situation. North Korea. Nah, we good. We just kind of want to do our own thing. Now, some of them, over time, they get in there, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, it just, to me, just looks like, if he on the outside, yeah, I can see it. Now, to the people talking about, like Plies, that's like, oh, this, they set this up. It's like,
don't forget Amanda Seals.
Amanda Seals. It's
She
like,
doubled down on it. She walked it back and then came back and with charts and was like, no, because if you look, the wind trajectory, she turned into...
Amanda Seals don't know what the fuck she talking about. Amanda Seals, and I tried. Like, I like some of the points that she made on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
And I even followed her for a while. And I was like, you know what? I believe some of what the sister talking about as it relates to, like, not wanting to give certain people voices. I'm not an extreme right or extreme left person. I'm a balanced in-between libertarian.
And she's smart as a whip. It's just that her political knowledge base is just fucked. Like,
She's smart African-American studies. Like, I would not argue her about the historical way that black people have been treated in America based on what happened. And you can't change that. Chattel slavery existed, right? But her so left-leaning, like, she doesn't know enough about the Middle Eastern conflict. She just chose Palestine. She couldn't. My homegirl that has a podcast called Black and Jewish, lives in Israel. She was there on October the 7th. That girl went to school, seminary school. She lives in Israel. She knows more about fucking the Middle Eastern conflicts than Amanda Seals. Amanda Seals is just fucking popular, more popular. But it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about with Hamas. You don't, right? You just don't. From a tactical perspective, people that are saying these things, like when she said, I know what gunshots sound like in Harlem. You don't even know what fucking sound signature means. You, like, handguns, You use a handgun to get to your rifle. You don't know what the fucking speed and distance and 150 yards and like you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Yeah, on the show that you and Nick did together, he made the point that, he's a Army Ranger, sniper, executive protection, the whole nine. He's like, the sound that people heard was the bullets cracking the sound barrier. And this is what I'm saying. Like, people just ain't qualified and they got a microphone. And I blame the internet. I blame most of y'all motherfucking parents. I blame, like, don't get me wrong. I love podcasts. I love them. Yeah.
Some people on these podcasts shouldn't be talking.
That's a fact.
Like Plies, shut the fuck up. like seriously, like, bro, like, shut the fuck up, Plies. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I train with some of the best shooters in the fucking world. They are my friends that I can call and say, where's the bullshit in this? And they'll give me a detail, like Nick. Yeah. Nick has more confirmed sniper kills than anybody in American history.
That's a fact.
That's who I'm talking to about this.
Yeah.
And hey, bro, and I'm gonna ask, come on, bro, for real. Is there a way? Bro, I've been to Afghanistan, Iran. I worked with Secret Service, meaning him.
Yeah.
No, this doesn't happen. Anybody like Amanda Seals or Plies that's saying whatever the fuck they saying, shut the fuck up. I got another sniper on deck. That's my guy Buck. He's a sniper extraordinaire. He about to give me more breakdown as more information's coming out. And it's like the conversation about, oh, well, he turned his ear because he did this whole thing as a setup for attention. He don't fucking need attention.
Right.
He's already the front runner.
He was already a 70-30 victor before all of this.
And the Biden administration is so horrible that it's like droves of black men going, listen, bro, I don't care what y'all gonna say about me at this point. I got to go Trump this go around.
Because the other side is playing in my face so bad that I gotta do something, because if I vote for RFK, that's a no vote.
No, but listen, here go my argument with that, right? I think you should vote if you think RFK is more in alignment, but I want to be clear. RFK is anti-gun. Fuck that campaign ad that he put out saying, I'm not going to take anybody's guns. The fact that you're not saying the president is not allowed to even attempt to take somebody's guns, you just saying it because you're not going to get more people right of center if you don't say this.
Exactly.
Right? RFK is a climate change dude that would tax corporations tremendously for not going along with this fake-ass climate change agenda. And yes, I'm calling it. It's this fucking fake. Guys, Ellis Island, where the Statue of Liberty is, has a water level. That shit been here since it was made. If climate change was that real, how come the fucking water level at Ellis Island hasn't went the fuck up? Like, at a certain point, we just got to use common sense about certain shit. This is a taxation scheme, right?
Yeah.
My point in saying all of this is RFK Jr. is a climate change dude that got it 100% right on his COVID overreach. He got that shit right. His book, The Real Anthony Fauci, is an amazing book that everybody should read, right? But I don't care who you vote for. If you the only person that vote for RFK or vote for Chase Oliver or vote for Jill Stein or vote for Cornel West, who I just sat down with last week, if that person is in alignment with your values, vote for them. Don't go, oh, it's a throwaway vote. No, it's not. You align with his or her politic, vote for them.
I like that you said that. That's great.
That's how voting goes.
Yeah.
So like this whole like, you know, data, he was trying to get a boost in popularity, and if he was really shot, bro, the fact that he turned at that exact moment, I don't care what you want to call it, his face would have been jelly.
Yeah.
It's no argument about it.
Him turning was a form of divine intervention.
To a certain extent. And I'm not one of them motherfuckers be like, oh, Trump is ordained by God.
Yeah, I don't think that, but I'm just thinking like for whatever reason, something in him said, turn your head.
When a motherfucker tried to kill me in North Philly and I didn't get shot and they was in between the two cars and was shooting at me from that little ass block, something protected me. That's it. That don't mean Maj is fucking Neo from the fucking Matrix. That's not what it means.
That means on that night, in that instance, you were protected for whatever reason.
Wasn't your time yet, bro.
Yeah.
And so this argument that these people are saying that don't know what the fuck they talking about, I'm just challenging the listeners and the viewers to just be like, yo, shut the fuck up. Or present evidence. I know what I'm talking about, but I went and got someone that has more lived experience as a sniper and all of these things than anybody that you could possibly find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so those people that say that, I just want the viewers to just like, yo, like, just because Plies made that song with T-Pain back in the day, like his musical prowess does not translate into political intelligence.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And stop listening to these fucking people. Where in the fucking white community is a fucking rapper being heralded as a political scientist?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
I think it was Malcolm X that said that.
Yeah.
Us taking the trumpet player.
Lena Horne. These are trumpeters, comedians, entertainers. No. And I'm not saying that, you know, as a Kid Rock doesn't get an opinion to say he loves Trump. Everybody gets the right to say an opinion. But you're not hearing, bro, the people are fucking retarded right now. And I want you to not be retarded right now.
Yeah.
As a voice of reason, as a libertarian, I'm just telling y'all, both sides is capping y'all up.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle in this island going, hey, y'all, just come to this island in the middle called common sense.
Right.
And just evaluate shit. Sometimes we're going to go to the left with it. Sometimes we're going to go to the right with it. Every time we're going to go in a different direction, but it's got to be based on logic, objective thinking, and like common sense. And I don't mean like common sense gun control. I mean like, hey, are the general public's rights going to be respected and protected here?
Right.
You know, and so but this whole like, this is the biggest example of people talking out of their fucking lane and they doubling down on it. And it's really an insult to the general public's intelligence.
If Donald Trump gets JFK'd on that stage, what happens to America? What happens in America?
A lot of these anti-gun people will be lunch food, like lunch meat and dog food. They're going to get ate. Like, right now, there's 300 million guns in America that we know of. Mm-hmm. Gun owners are not the problem. But if you do shit like that, to that point, we was like this close to a civil war.
Yeah.
You know, which is another part of me, you know, as a chessboard. Zbigniew Brzezinski has a great book called The Grand Chessboard. He's dead now. He's a really, really devious and evil motherfucker, right? But you should read his books.
Yeah, yeah.
It's called The Grand Chessboard?
The Grand Chessboard by Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Mm-hmm. You write that down.
On a chessboard, maybe that's a part of the play. And I try to maybe on the chessboard without making it seem like the deep state or whatever term we got for them, Illuminati, whatever, like they too above, like they super perfect. Because, you know, all bullies and tyrants fall, right? Mm-hmm. But like maybe that's part of the plan. Let's create this, you know, because they have to try to kill him again. It's a long time before November.
Yeah, it's early in the
early in the game. They tried
season.
They shot early.
Yeah.
Let's try to shoot him early. Butler, PA. No one's gonna fucking.
What is it with the like with the Democratic Party? They're doing everything early, like in record time, like the earliest debate, the earliest assassination. Not saying that they did it. I don't.
They did that shit.
Like the earliest assassination and shit was like they ahead of schedule
because they need to have time to convince you that to now switch to. We ran all the money plays that we could run off of Biden. We can't get him again. He's not going to beat Trump. And we already fucked the economy up. We got to start everything early to convince people to change the argument around Biden to convince people to accept that this is going to be our new nominee. Listen, we tried with Biden, but unfortunately his health, da-da-da-da-da. They need to do that early to convince people through PR marketing and ad runs to believe that this new guy should be the person that you should get behind. Gavin Newsom is the person you should get behind.
Right.
I'm telling every hood across America, whoever it is, it's all part of the game. It's cap. Do not vote for them. If they switch him out, no, y'all said he was good. For the last 2 years, y'all said he good. That's your man. Y'all gave him the nominee. Ride him out.
Yeah.
That's your man. If they lied to y'all this way, vote for Trump. And I'm saying that as a libertarian.
Right.
Or vote for who you want. But I'm just saying, if you want to really, they playing in your face.
It is kind of wild because we really could have not done any of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we could have legitimately just been from the jump, like going with Newsom, going with this person. But it's like, we here now.
Right.
You almost do have, like if I feel 100% what you're saying. If you remove Biden and replace him now, it's kind of just like, yeah, we just fucking with you.
Yeah,
we just on bullshit.
And if they on bullshit like that, do the exact opposite of what they tell. If they telling you, they told you Biden was good for Black America. That's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
They told you Biden was, in this administration, was good for the economy. That's a lie. They told you that he created however many 10, 5, whatever the number is, million jobs. No, you closed, the economy was closed, and then people got jobs again, and y'all counting that as new jobs, and it's not new jobs.
It's the same fucking jobs.
They're playing this game in front of our face, so they lied, or they being manipulative at best,
they
right?
definitely doing shady accounting.
So if they doing that, why would you listen to them? Like, and then they saying Trump is the worst thing ever. All right, cool. Let's look at everybody evaluate what was in your wallet and your pocket when Trump, even if you just associate it with, and again, I believe he overspent.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's look at your pocket and your wallet during the time when Donnie T was in there.
Yeah.
You know your wallet and your pocket better than me. I can't make this truth up for you.
Absolutely.
And so at a certain point, Black people got to go, nah, what? Bro, they've given you your ass to kiss. And okay, cool. Don't vote for fucking this whole like, oh, it's a wasted vote. Then Trump gonna win. What has the Biden administration fucking done for you?
It's crazy because last night I saw something that said right now there are more Americans falling behind on their car loans than any time during the pandemic and through the housing crisis of 2008.
Wild. This is
man.
because $200 billion of your dollars that would be in America, they packaged it and sent it to Ukraine. That's just Ukraine. They're not talking about the other packages in, again, the North Korea, the Taiwan Sea. They're not talking about the money that and resources that went to supporting this rumble that we've been in Yemen and Syria for however long. They're not even we're not even counting that number.
Yeah, like that's a separate tab. Don't put that on the
separate tab.
That's Chad.
Separate
own bill at the restaurant.
Then now, Black folks, because I know most people that identify as Black might be open to this conversation about reparations. While they sent $200 billion over there, they told you we ain't got it for reparations.
Yeah, we do not have it. After they just overspent on COVID relief.
Right.
We do
infrastructure
not have it.
money. Infrastructure money, which that bill is this fucking big or whatever, and then foreign aid, but they literally told you, I ain't.
Now somehow you were white supremacist for saying that shit.
Why you ain't come before the 14th?
I
had it, but you just late.
Now my thing is, all right, now where is this us tap dancing? We just calling the numbers.
Yeah.
We just doing sound accounting based on the numbers that y'all presented. Meanwhile, the Pentagon done failed like 10 fucking audits in a row.
Yeah.
These the same people that say to you, create rules for you having a firearm to defend yourself. They can't find their fucking guns and the money and the weapons. This is government overreach. This is people that are telling you to go up one particular way that don't even know what the fuck we talking about in this conversation. And they low key, from an intentional or unintentional place, are selling you up the river.
Yeah.
For some shit that they not even qualified to have a discussion about. They never been to antiwar.com. Everybody should go to antiwar.com. I'm not paid by them.
Yeah.
Everybody should fucking check out antiwar.com. See what's happening internationally. Everybody in this motherfucker should be looking at all sorts of international news. Al Jazeera. And still look at CNN, still look at Fox.
Yeah, look at the Young Turks, look at all of it.
All of that shit. And then go, oh, that was cap, that was cap, that was cap. Okay, I'm going to find some sort of truth in the middle of this news Venn diagram.
Yeah.
It is crazy because I got a good friend who works overseas in the Middle East, and he tells me all the time, like, certain shit that you see in, like, your media is not the way it go down. It's not the way it happens.
Bro, I was at the White House years ago when, remember that speech where Trump was in the White House and he was like, African Americans built this nation. Mm-hmm. I think you're just starting to get credit for it now, but we all built it, but you had a special hand. I was there. I was not wearing a fucking MAGA hat. I was just there.
Yeah.
And after that speech, I was like, damn, ain't none of that shit gonna make it to TV. And it didn't. And by the time I left the White House and walked back to the hotel, sat at the bar and had a drink, it was on CNN. And they chopped and screwed his shit so different.
Right. Meanwhile, you were there.
I was there.
You witnessed
I
it.
seen it. I was in the second row. I had to stop my man Doe Dubes and fucking Carl from smacking the shit out of Brandon Tatum because he's a dickhead. I was at the White House.
Officer Tatum?
Officer Tatum. They was going to line him the fuck up, and I was like, no, y'all, chill. We in the White House. It's going to kind of look bad. If
Don't stall him out.
Stall him out. I literally was there. I was right there. My man, the civil right, and those Hotep dudes
Can't draw in the
can't draw in the White House, and they was like, all right, Maj, they was going, he was food. I was right there.
Yeah.
They was there too. And I went to the hotel, and it was the exact, and even the wording that the commentators were saying, technically you said this, but if they line the question up a certain way, it's gonna make you sound crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. It was a clear instinctive reminder that, yeah, media do that.
Yeah.
You know? And so they're not being responsible with their media. They're lying to you. And Black America, more specifically, you shouldn't vote for Main Man. And if you want to, cool, go ahead. But look into other people. Look into Chase Oliver. He's our libertarian candidate. He became the candidate through some weird internecine rivalry shit between the delegates, right? I disagree with a lot of Chase's positions as it relates culturally and socially, but his platform is 100% limited government libertarian. Mm-hmm. It is. Look into that.
Yeah.
Look into your local politics. If you don't care about guns and you think climate change is a thing, you should vote for RFK Jr. There's no metric that you should tell me that like Black people should be like, yeah, I'm gonna get behind Biden. Like, and if so, comment, tell me, shit, email me, DM me, follow me, tell me the legislation that has been by and far in the last 3.5 years beneficial for Black communities from the Biden administration.
Yeah.
And if you show me that shit, Kamala ain't even Black, she Indian. So like, which I guess is Black, right? But like, everything about this shit is like, this shit like the Truman Show with these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's definitely like the Truman Show. It's definitely like the Truman Show. I want to take you to the conspiracy corner for a minute.
Yeah.
And go over some prominent conspiracies that's in the media. So I watched the Instagram video yesterday where the creator I don't know if you saw, he made a clear connection between the Biden administration, BlackRock, and Ukraine as the perpetrators of the Trump assassination attempt. Because of their collective motivation to rebuild Kiev, establish democracy there, and their new financial system. Yeah. How much attention do you pay to any of these like conspiracy theories out there in relation to the shooting specifically?
I pay attention to all of them initially to see like if it's any. Like, listen, bro. For the people that might not know what BlackRock is, BlackRock own a lot of shit.
Damn near everything.
Right? And if you're talking about it from a hood politics perspective, we want that new corner over there. And we liked Main Man, but Main Man in the way of that corner over there. And he represents more of a nationalist, meaning sovereign nation ideology that's in the way of our globalist agenda. Yes. This ain't new. This is what Alex Jones was talking about since the 90s.
Alex Jones has been right a lot.
A lot.
Minus Sandy Hook. He's
you know
been right a lot.
And even that, right? Even that. The Sandy Hook shit. He expressed his opinion. Yo, bro, I think this shit might be fake. They now hit him with he got a lawsuit for $1 billion.
Yeah, he got a judgment for
$1 billion. Yeah. Right?
They telling him, sell your personal shit. Sell your drawers.
And I've done InfoWars. I've been on his show twice. These are the same people that just said the Trump shooting was staged. So are they going to get sued?
I have thoughts about that, right? Considering that Alex Jones got sued for his comments about Sandy Hook, got this judgment on his head, got them saying sell your personal assets, whatever, I would think that would have deterred people from being so quick to say this shooting is staged, considering that one person died, the shooter also died, so technically 2 people died, and then 2 other people were gravely harmed.
Yeah.
And a former president, they tried to murder him on national television.
They're not going to learn from the Alex Jones shit. They believe that they get to do shit and you can't do it. They believe both sides at different points. If you're not in your own middle island, the motherfuckers that say, I watched, again, Mysonne say, Trump has been calling for political violence forever. That's just not true. Has he been spun out of context? Like, he told them January 6 people. What he said was, go home, we respect the police. That happened. That's not me tap dancing for Trump. That's tell the whole truth.
Yeah.
So y'all will say that, but you are the same people on the left that said, if a motherfucker ain't vaccinated, he don't get no health care. We should shoot Donald Trump. Kathy Griffin held the bloody fucking head of Donald Trump. Snoop pointed a gun at a makeshift thing of Donald Trump and shot him. So then y'all say, oh, he called for political violence. Then you'll say, there's no room for political violence, as like you saying, oh, that's wrong, what happened to Trump. You asked for this for years.
Yeah.
And you were the same people advocating for war in Ukraine. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So no, they believe rules for thee and none for me. That's what happens when you keep giving government more problems and more power and less problems. You keep getting them. It's just I'm in charge now. I'm going to do to them, that other blue team, what they did to us as the red team when they was in position. Then they get in position. Only thing that happens is government now government controls what your red and your blue team can do.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm a limited government libertarian.
Yeah.
And so the impetus for these people to be objective and be intellectually consistent is not there. They're not objective thinkers. They think that's why the founders of America did not want party systems. They was like, we don't just vote on the thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to have a team to do. Just vote.
What's the agenda? What's the issue?
What's the issue? Y'all want, how many people want this? How many people don't want this? It's not and as soon as motherfucking George Washington died, it was like, oh, party time. So these are the things that like the general public isn't really aware of. So they're not going to be as objective because their binary is, it's us against that side over there. Their binary is not what is in limited government that is beneficial for the people.
Right.
That's not where their binary goes. They've been fed a binary propaganda thing. I can't remember what the original question was.
Oh, was this about like how much do you read into like the conspiracy theories?
I read into the conspiracy theories because I need to see who lying or who got a kernel of truth. Right?
Yeah.
From the top, I was like, that's not the only shooter. I said that 2 days in.
Yeah.
I was like, and I asked Nick that. Nick was like, I could kind of see it, but I don't have any evidence to support it. Now I kind of find out it was 11 different fucking shots fired type shit.
Oh, shit.
So now it's like, oh, there might have been a second shooter on the fucking water tower over there.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, yeah, because that's what my sniper basic or intermediate level of long distance shooting goes.
Yeah.
And then y'all immediately got main man. It's too many fails in a thing to think that it was like, you know, I listen to all of the conspiracies.
Yeah.
Because a conspiracy, that term conspiracy theory was created by the CIA. It was created by the CIA to discredit anybody that did critical thinking. Oh, you a conspiracy theorist. It's like when motherfuckers be like, oh, you a Uncle Tom. First of all, in the book, Tom was the one that didn't sell out. Sambo and Kiambo is the ones that sold out.
Right.
The reason why it's you a Uncle Tom is because the overseers on the plantations would say to black people that weren't doing what they were supposed to do, oh, you being an Uncle Tom. And then motherfuckers that was tap dancers would repeat what the overseer said, oh, you were Uncle Tom. And it got morphed into, oh, you were Uncle Tom if you selling out. And that's not what the fucking term even means.
Yeah.
So my point in saying this is we talking about people that I got to listen to the conspiracy and the theories around this conspiracy because it's really people thinking objectively around what may or may not have happened. But that phrasing has been presented to people as oh, here come the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Everything, when there's two or more people theorizing or conspiring around it, is a conspiracy theory. Everything.
Right.
We're finding out what is fact in this, what is credible, and what is not credible. So I listen to all of it. And I am not of the belief that the United States government, the FBI, was power washing the fucking roof. When you get sexually assaulted, they immediately tell you, do not take a shower. Go take a rape kit.
Yeah.
When you get in the shooting, like don't
disturb
don't disturb
the
nothing on the crime scene.
Yeah.
The FBI is there disturbing the fucking crime scene. So it's not beyond my brain to be like, y'all did that shit.
Right.
And you wash it. But we've, as the people, are so misinformed, listening to political pundits that have no fucking qualifications.
They got them Cadillacs.
That don't know what they're talking about, so it's more difficult for the general public to be informed. So the deep state or overreaching government or even small rogue agencies within that government feel emboldened to do this shit because the general public's not going to be doing any critical thinking or asking the right fucking questions. You just going to go, Plies said it was fake. who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
So if I was a super villain, I would feel confident taking a shot at Main Man because he's fucking up our block over there potentially. He's getting in the way of our central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
Not Bitcoin, the central bank digital currency. So all of these things line up for me. Geopolitics is just like the street. It's just with more guns, more drugs, and more death.
And the stakes are way higher.
That's all. Instead of it being like, motherfucker, I could buy a tank like tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's 10,000 tanks. That's all it is. I got guns. They got all of the guns. When you talk about establishing some shit in Kiev, and Donald Trump is in league with the idea that Putin is like, look, bro, I just don't want NATO overreaching into something that used to be a part of the USSR. And Trump like, all right, cool. I don't give a fuck about NATO. They ain't giving us no motherfucking money, right? Trump is turning into, remember in Coming to America, where he's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Motherfucker ain't giving me nothing when they was passing the collection plate. He like, them motherfuckers ain't giving me nothing.
Put a chicken bone in that joint.
Right.
He
He's
says,
like,
collection plate.
collection, donation, right? And Trump like, I don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers ain't giving us nothing over here in America. We about this America shit. Who got that money for us?
Yeah.
Right? The bigger players, because there's always a bigger player. The Black Rocks and them are like,
Black Rock, State Street, Stateside, and
Vanguard.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers is like, we don't give a fuck about, because y'all like him or he popular or a president. We, as the fucking shadow government, have operated coups, killed presidents, interfered in elections for generations.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton got on national television and laughed that the fucking United States government murdered Gaddafi.
Yes, that happened.
We came, we saw, he died. That was Hillary Clinton. Now, when we're talking about the pundits that influence the masses, because the influencer job is a very powerful job. Even if you only get 300 likes, imagine if you had a room full of 300 people that were listening to you.
Yeah.
Right? They know that these influencers influence people, so they give the influencers a bag to say things so the general public doesn't think about it properly. And that's what's happening. So I listen to all of the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And I go, that makes sense. That doesn't. This whole, like, I wasn't all the way there with the QAnon shit, but I'm going to listen to it. I think we should listen to everything. And then we should make intelligent, sound decisions based on all of the information presented. But I do not think that you should, A, listen to people that are not fucking qualified. B, only go with one established narrative. And again, most times that established narrative comes from a media outlet that's been curated for you, or again, a person that's not qualified that they just know that you fucking like.
Right.
You know.
How much do you know about the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025?
That shit is capped. So Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation is a Republican-based think tank. They present ideas. Most of the people, first of all, Project 2025 is a 900-page document. Most of the political pundits talking to Taraji P. Henson. You didn't fucking read it.
I don't think they read 9 pages.
Number one.
I read the Wikipedia around it and was like...
Scroll.
I read the Wikipedia around it and I was like, this is the most unconstitutional shit I've ever seen in my life. There's no way that they can enact this.
But
that's the conclusion I landed on.
But the Heritage Foundation can say it. And because the Heritage Foundation might fund things that Republicans are at, you hear of Taraji. First of all, Taraji, you don't even know what... You can't even negotiate a good contract for yourself. You on motherfucking television crying because you overwork and underpaid in a craft that you've been doing for 30 years. Not qualified. I bet you dollars to donuts. Taraji ain't read the motherfucking Heritage. She doesn't know what the Heritage Foundation is. She doesn't know the association with it. And she definitely didn't read Project 2025. Project 2025, what everybody should be reading is Agenda 47. But she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And most of the people on the left that are talking about, that's the new boogeyman.
Yes.
Let's scare them with this.
Yeah, now that Biden good, Trump bad stopped working, all of a sudden the last 2 months, I just keep hearing Project 2025, Project 2025,
It's certain phrases and words. Keep it a buck. Nobody listening heard the term toxic masculinity 10 years ago. It didn't exist. Toxic as a word existed on its own. Masculinity or femininity existed on its own. this new amalgamation of this thing, if you don't stop and think, when a motherfucker be like, oh, he's abusing his wife, that's toxic masculinity. First of all, masculinity is strength, protection, and provision. He's not doing any of those things when he's abusing his wife. Why are you associating toxicity with masculinity? You're not even, it's an oxymoron that y'all just made y'all believe that this shit go together and it don't.
Yeah, he's a fucked up person. Let's call him that.
So, the same thing with this. They know that people don't do that level of objective thinking. They want to hear a thing. They want to look like they're the person that's on to the new thing. And you didn't do any research on the thing.
Yeah.
And you be like, you heard Taraji say, Project 2025 is real. Look it up. I got to consider the source. Okay. What level of objective thinking qualifies you to tell me that this thing is that? And you said this shit is super unconstitutional. Now, if you are more conservative on the right, you do believe that abortions are wrong, meaning morally and socially conservative, right? That has nothing to do with limited government conservative. That conundrum about abortion means government has to make a decision. Roe v. Wade being overturned with Supreme Court saying, we gave the federal government too much power in this and determining what a woman can or cannot do with her body.
Yeah.
But the general public doesn't know anything about the Constitution. So if they don't know anything about the Constitution, they've been told that this means they want to destroy women's reproductive rights, when in reality that SCOTUS said, federal government shouldn't be making this decision.
Yeah, hands off on this. We wash our hands of it.
Local governments, local and state government shit, where you have more power over the representatives that you choose, which means you have more of a voice. But the general public don't know about Constitution. They hear this buzzword, Project 2025. They didn't read it. They don't know about the Constitution. Instant boogeyman. Listen, bro, the play works. Remember when they told everybody Y2K in the year 2000?
Oh, man.
Everything was going motherfucking just stop working?
Yeah.
You know how every time there's a storm, they be like, you got to go to the store and you got to buy bread and water. First of all, motherfucker, you don't even drink water with your unhealthy ass. 2, you think you need 18 loaves of bread?
Yeah. This shit gonna go bad in 8 days. What are we doing?
They're just doing things to scare you into a decision. And like you said, now that all of this, like everybody going like, nah, this Biden shit ain't it. Now it challenges the thought process of everything that the Democratic Party does and has been doing for some time.
Yeah.
They got to sell you this new fear tactic. And not to mention, this is a conservative think tank that has no legislative power at all. And the things that they're talking about, first of all, Democrats, the House and Senate, Democrats have a say. These things have to be voted on.
Yes.
And right now, the Democrats are running that part of the game. So this doesn't even get through. So these conversations are from people that are fear-mongering that don't know the process of civics. And they didn't read it. Yeah. And the people that they're saying it to hasn't read it. So it's just more that, like, the vast majority of the things that you might name, they all gonna follow that formula. Motherfuckers don't know what it is. They just found about it. They didn't read into it. They didn't read the whole thing in full. They listened to it from some person that's unqualified to fucking talk about it.
Right.
Then they gonna repeat it on the internet like they know what the fuck they talking about. It's the blind leading the blind.
Absolutely. For the last 2 years, this is my final conspiracy theory examination. For the last 2 years, the leftists have pretty much done everything in their power to stop Trump from regaining control in the presidency.
Yeah.
Public slander, ruining his reputation, charging him with frivolous cases all over the country, devaluing this. They devalued Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Hitting them with exorbitant judgments and now possibly perpetuating the assassination attempt. What is their motivation to hold on to the White House so bad?
It's a gang mentality. Our dude in there. That's my team. This is what happens when you do party politics.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have a person. It's interesting because they ridicule people that say, this my block, this my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And having pride. Oh, that's gang member shit. Then when you go national, you got I love America, da-da-da-da. They understand the power of it. So when somebody says America first and really tries to live up to that, y'all had an international globalist agenda, so fuck that. We trying to set up plays, and he's in the way of running our play.
Right.
That's unless he's down with the overall scheme. But to me, that's the reason. We don't want Remember in The Wire when Bodie like, fuck that. This my block.
Right.
Everybody else died and my man in jail, the old boss in jail, this my block. And Marlo wanted that one block.
Yes.
And everybody ran, but Bodie was like, fuck that. I'm willing to die about this shit.
And he died.
That's patriotic as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Some people might go, oh, no, he just was a regular drug dealer. What the fuck you think all these companies is? What the fuck you think Pfizer is? That's why all of your Good Morning America brought to you by Pfizer. This shit is drug dealers. This the same shit. This is why I'm telling hoods across America, get involved in this shit. We could eat good in here. We could eat good in here.
Right.
We understand the concept. So their interest is they trying to block a dude out that's going to fuck one of their blocks up. They have been money laundering in Ukraine for decades. Russia is saying, we're not going to try to re-annex Ukraine, but don't keep adding them to NATO. Because NATO, as much as they say Putin is trying to surround nations, NATO's over there surrounding motherfucking Russia.
Mm-hmm.
That's his spot. That's his corner. He like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Y'all
Putin
flanking
finally
me.
had enough. He like,
Right.
yo, get off my shit.
You
like, what's-
flanking me.
Yeah.
It's like when
you
the
in
cops
my,
pull
you
up.
in my blind spot. What's
Yeah,
up with
why you over there, bro? Why you trying to box me in? I'm not mad at him for doing that. That's his block.
Yeah.
If you come to the Solutionary Center, it ain't no crime on my block. We don't do crime on 29th and Thompson.
Yeah.
We don't do crime over there. Do that crime somewhere. You definitely don't. I'll allow it, but I'm low-key mad if you litter on 29th and Thompson.
Right.
Right? So the impetus that they have is he ain't all the way bought in and we can't leverage him. We can't get the same level of, you went to Epstein Island how many times, Barack? We can't box you in and get pictures of you on motherfucking the Big Owl fucking area in California. My point in saying that is, he kind of like us, but he ain't one of us, and he ain't all squad, so he not gonna go down because his allegiance is to his nationalism, his America.
Right.
That's like, and every hood Philadelphians understand that. Yo, I'm from North Philly. I don't be in South Philly like that. That's what every Philly dude going.
Philadelphians are parochial as fuck.
Right. Yo, where? Uptown. Who over there? Like, my girl from Uptown, I go pick her up, but I don't really be up there like that. You motherfucker, go get some grass uptown, bro. Just go to fucking, that's why the Chili's ain't there now. Like, go up to Burlington Coat Factory, get the jacket for cheaper, bro. Like, you can't go up past Cheltenham. Like, cool the fuck out.
Niggas won't cross Wissahickon Avenue.
Right.
In both directions. The uptown niggas won't come down, and the North Philly niggas won't go up.
Right. Meanwhile, I'm 16 going like, what's over here?
Yeah.
That's why I got all this fucking information in my head. My point in saying that is, it's the same thing. So if he like, nah, I want to fuck with this America shit, bro. I just want to make America great. Then they get mad. Oh, that's a racist slogan. First of all, it wasn't even his slogan. That was Ronald Reagan's. Like, see, there's layers to this shit. That's why we got Solutionary University, right? Really, people need to be ran through a lot of this shit, the content and the information that's going to give them the knowledge base to make more well-informed decisions. Because they like dumb babies out here right now.
Yeah.
And the media is definitely taking advantage of it. So to me, that's the impetus for them, going so hard. And we tried everything else. He had the documents. That case got thrown the fuck out.
Yeah.
The other case is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? And every time they just anticipated him being dirty, and he wasn't dirty.
Right.
And so, like, as FBI, he like, this is what I love about when they ran the tapes of Malcolm X being recorded, because the FBI was on Malcolm back then. They ran them tapes, right? And Malcolm, they couldn't find no dirt on him, like in no way, shape, or form. They was like, yo, we can't motherfucking find no dirt on Malcolm, because he was actually being that righteous dude. And I think they running into this same problem. Now, I'm not saying, let me be clear, because somebody gonna try to say, Malcolm like a father to me in my mind. Right? Because somebody gonna be like, oh, you comparing Trump to Malcolm in that sense. And I'm like, nah, that ain't what I'm doing, bro. But what I am saying is, all right, cool. He had a little Stormy Daniels. If that's all you finding, the little Stormy Daniels and this mutually agreed upon shit, I ain't really too mad at that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I just think that they have a genuine reason to not have this person that they can't control in some way and his nationalistic ideology gets in the way of their globalist agenda and their plans.
Yeah. I want to ask you like 2 questions about Philly, and then I think we can wrap up, man. Because I definitely want to leave some stuff there for you to potentially be able to come back, man. Because this has been phenomenal. If Philadelphia had a change in party leadership, either to Republicans or independents, do you think that changes the plight of Philadelphia?
Hell yeah, 100%. When I'll give you a perfect example. There was policy enacted by Democrats that you can't, like, you know how dudes be fixing cars? They may not have a location, right?
Yeah.
They may not have a mechanic shop. So they might fix it in front of their crib or something like that. There was policy that came down that was like, you get fined for that now. If I'm in front of my crib and I'm trying to fix, I'll do they got a small business, they doing oil changes.
Yeah.
You get fined for that, which means they're penalizing free market enterprise.
They came through the other day, and it's this older gentleman or whatever. He sells like watermelons, fruit, whatever, up there, I guess off of Roosevelt Boulevard or whatever.
Yeah.
Highway Patrol came through, took his whole stuff, took his money, all of this shit, basically kicked him in his ass, told him get the fuck off the street. And the community is now like,
what are you doing?
What the fuck? Like, all right now.
The person that goes out of his way to bring fruits and vegetables to the community in his truck on his own dime, no government involvement. Now you're telling the fruits and you can't find a seeded watermelon damn near nowhere.
Yeah.
So the person that's bringing the seeded watermelons to the community, y'all as government are saying, get this. So don't eat fruits and vegetables. Don't practice free market enterprise. He just sitting there, hey, I got some fruit if you want it.
Right.
This is why Republican leadership would change things, or independent. Government shouldn't have shit to do with that. I'll give you a perfect example. We on the 10-year anniversary, I think, or maybe a few days out, of the death of Eric Garner.
Yes.
He was selling Lucy cigarettes, allegedly.
In New Orleans, right?
New York.
No, New York. That was it was a similar situation, I believe, somewhere in New Orleans.
Which is, there we go.
Yeah.
This much happened. You killed a man. You choked him to death.
Yeah.
Because he allegedly took a pack of cigarettes that he paid for. He didn't steal them.
Right.
And he chose to sell them to other people that wanted them. You had a policy that made it where he couldn't do that, and you choked him to death behind that.
Right.
That is not in alignment with free market enterprise. So if there was more independent and that's a Democrat thing.
Right.
Putting bureaucracy and getting in the way of job creation and free market enterprise.
Right.
You go to AOC and that team up there, I think it was Amazon that wanted to bring some jobs up to New York. They got in the way and stopped it.
Yeah.
Jobs that would have been created when people needed it.
Right.
So from an economic standpoint, because the group of people that can keep together their politics, their culture, and their economics, that's the group of people that succeeds.
Right.
That's what I love the Jewish people. I might go over there and touch the motherfucking wall. Right?
Yeah.
They keep their economics, their culture, and their politics together.
Absolutely.
And so if there was a change, do I think that would have a benefit for our communities? 1,000%. Because Philadelphia has been a Democratic ran city for how long? And outside of the areas where there was councilmanic privilege, where city council people may or may not, I'm not saying they did or didn't, but it's the potential for them to get financial windfalls for letting certain developers come into their area to develop. All of those areas that got some benefits had councilmanic privilege involved. But the areas where there was not councilmanic privilege, they look even worse. And if you see right now, they moved all of the zombies in Frankfurt and Kensington. They moved them to that section. Yeah. And now, as more development happens, they're going to move them to a different section. Mm-hmm. They was downtown. That used to be downtown back in the day.
That was Love Park.
You understand? So they moved.
Damn,
and what happened at Love Park? They renovated it. Now you don't see none of them same level of homeless
Love
people
Park
there.
was really fiended out.
Yeah, they power washed all the fiends out there. They got the park rangers out there now. They not playing that shit.
I used to get a lot of money selling tree down in Love Park. They got them. They moved them. This is controlled demolition. This ain't a oops. All of the fiends ain't just magically going, we just going to convene here now.
Right.
If it ain't a building where they could go in and smoke, So they moved them to Frankfurt, and just look. Now you got the bars, now you got the distilleries, now you got the restaurants, now you got the Art Basel-esque type of situation because the property values were low. The developers came in, and the property values got lowered by that. So this is a controlled operation. And so this is the same thing. But if it was independent or Republican-led leadership, the whole thing would happen at once because it would be like, all right, cool. Who want to do the best business for our city?
Right.
Not only based on councilmanic privilege, or it will also be, yo, we don't give a fuck if you do drugs. That's on you. Don't be in front of no private businesses. Don't be in front of no private residences. And we wouldn't have a high level of incarceration rates. You know what the fuck you doing when you take Fetty Wap. You know what's going to happen.
Right.
That's a choice. Do it or don't.
Right.
But we take some of that money, do what Portugal did. Portugal a few years ago made all of their hard drugs lawful.
Yep.
Within 2 years, 80% of violent crimes dropped.
Because now people ain't got to do crazy shit to get drugs because...
And if you do get drugs, we not helping you.
Yeah.
Our money now can be shifted towards programs and legislation that's going to actually help people, right? The war on drugs is a massive failure, and it was really a war on poor people. And Nixon said it. He got caught on tape saying it. Okay, can we not accept... Okay, let's end the war. Drugs won. Drugs won. Whoever want drugs, take drugs, and whoever don't. That's what happens when you have more independent adult. And then we can shift to educating young people on why they should not take drugs. I'll land here on this question. In the 90s, we had a severe problem with teen pregnancy. Brenda's Got a Baby, all songs and shit, right? We didn't make it illegal for if we find you teenagers fucking, we're going to put you in jail. It's not what happened. They crafted.
It wouldn't even work.
It wouldn't even fucking work. Just like if you got drugs, you're going to jail. That shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? They put young people, their parents signed off on it. We're going to educate young people about reproduction. It was actual sex education, not this weirdo shit they got going on right now.
Yeah.
Parents signed off on it. If they wanted their child to be a part of it, teen pregnancy plummeted. We don't even talk about it no more.
It's not a thing.
Not a thing. Education is always going to beat legislation.
Yeah.
So when you have more of a right of center leadership that's focusing on free market enterprise, independence, defending the individual right. Yo, if you want to snort heroin, shoot heroin, snort coke, whatever the fuck you want to do, cool. Don't be in front of private businesses doing it. Do it in the context of your own fucking house. Right. We're not helping you if you get caught up on that shit. Our tax dollars are not going towards it. And we're not sending resources to chase dudes for weed and fucking H and locking people up that's caught with H that's addicted to the shit.
Yeah.
Now we free up some of that budget. Now we don't have all of this unnecessary law enforcement, citizen interaction. You would see vast levels of improvement in law enforcement, citizen interactions, and the communities in general. Tell me how Democrat policies have helped. So if it hasn't helped, why y'all keep fucking doing this shit?
I asked somebody that the other day because they was basically like, you know, being a finger pointer, and they was like, you know, the GOP are the ones that want to, you know, whitewash the history of America and, you know, erase black history and this and this and this. Anybody that votes for them is inherently evil. And I'm like, well, what has consistently voting Democrat for the last 60 years gotten black people? A collective wealth base of zero, despite all of the LeBron James and Steph Currys and Lil Wayne's and Birdman's and all of this, we still have a collective wealth base of zero.
Right.
When you go to net worth. So what did it get us? Nothing.
And those progressive policies, were the things that helped fuck that up. The Democrats and the Dixiecrats even further back, when they were like, yo, if you want money for this housing complex in suburban America, when those were being built, there was legislation, so-called progressive legislation, that was like, you cannot sell or lease to black people. There's a great book called The Color of Law that breaks this down wonderfully.
Yeah.
Right? And so what is the one biggest indicator of generational wealth? Home ownership. Mm-hmm. So you stop people from progressive policies of businesses coming in. Your progressive policies back in the day, especially in the South, not limited to, because it was in eastern states, too, you know, northeastern cities too, Chicago, Detroit, whatever. Y'all stop them suburban enclaves from renting to or leasing to or ownership to black people. These were progressive policies. So you stop the business and you stop the goddamn home ownership, which are the two biggest indicators of generating generational wealth.
Absolutely.
That was not the fucking Southern Republican strategy. That was progressive policy. AOC just fucking did it with the Amazon shit.
Right.
So you want me to act like I don't know that shit and then act like I'm supposed to be not black because I'm not voting for the same shit that fucked black people up.
Yeah.
The legislation by progressives is the problem. As soon as the 60s happened and the government got more involved and gave more so-called free money and separated the black family, the father from that through welfare, through this and through all of those programs, social programs, that began the beginning of the end of the black unit, which is the first fucking technology since goddamn Africa. You separate the black family, you separate the productive nature of that family to continue to make more people, which is more labor. You don't have them be independent. You don't have them growing homes. You don't have them. Remember back in the day, some of our houses, even in Philly, had a fucking fruit tree somewhere close by to the shit?
Yep.
So now you're dependent on the supply chain from corporations. This was a controlled, highly organized phenomenon. I'm just smart enough and have enough history to step back and look at the long timeline. I'm young, but I'm old.
Yeah.
So I just am able to go, oh no, that policy did that. That policy did that. Oh, you thought it was different back then? No, that policy did that. That's what AOC doing.
Yeah.
Whether she knows it or not, or is a different conversation. They call it progressive, but it is 1,000% regressive. And anybody that wants to challenge me on this shit, I'm gonna fucking smoke you. I know more than you.
Right.
Like this is not me. I am passionate about our communities, primarily black community, because that's where I live right now. When I get the fucking 800 million and move to a fucking white enclave, I'm gonna be passionate about that community that I fucking live in. Or if it's about, I just wanna be seeing thick Latin mommies, I'm gonna live in a Latin community, I'm gonna advocate for that community. My point in saying this shit is, yo, the policies have to be called up the middle. I live in the place where these policies have destroyed our communities. If you look at Philadelphia on like the history of Philly on Instagram, if you look at them 22nd in Columbia, which, or you know what it was then, in 1968, everybody happy. The houses are put together. They are uniform. It's not the same level of decrepitness and outdoor public drug use. There are policies that change that. There is a destruction and a decline in moral depravity that is increased based on no policy that is in alignment with the discipline. And when you start understanding civics, you understand civil engagement. You understand a certain level of respect for each person.
Right.
You understand, hey, this is my property, so I gotta protect it. You understand property rights. You start to understand these things, and when those things start to go, now you're starting to see the moral and social decay. And this is what we're looking at. And this is, I can tie it in any fucking generation that you want to point me to on the map. I can tie it to progressive policies that have been very, very destructive for our communities.
Final thing, breaking news. Phil Lewis from the Huffington Post just reported Biden has dropped out of the race. It's over.
Told
It
you.
ain't no report. Biden released a statement.
Yo,
He released the whole statement.
I'm getting sick, y'all.
He just posted a whole joint, like talking about stepping up.
How much y'all want to bet? How much y'all want to bet? How much y'all want to bet?
To be fair, I went on Twitter and that was the wrong thing to do. First thing I saw was Joe Biden. It was Kawhi Leonard in his USA uniform. I'm like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, niggas can't take nothing serious. But yeah, Biden released a whole statement about
my fellow Americans. All right, so from the deaths of Joseph R. Biden Jr., my fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. That is a fucking lie. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world.
See?
That's a fucking lie. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans.
In the step down, pointing out the ill shit you did, that's crazy.
I'm telling you.
That's like the walk-off home run.
It's like Encore from Jay-Z.
I'm great.
We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court.
She's Indian. Wait, go back to the last two and watch me show the lie. Go back up 3 and watch the lie.
All right, we provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances.
Stop. Not true. This is the same fucking administration that's having massive pushback from veterans. That's just like it's cap. It's cap. I'll make sure in the comment section when this comes out.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I name the legislation and the fight that they rumbling there.
Passed the first gun safety law in 30 years.
It's not true. First of all, you're talking about the passing the gun safety law. That's not true. It is a unconstitutional statute that's going to be overturned at the Supreme Court level. And it does not make Americans more safe at all. All of the data is clear. John Lott wrote a great book called More Guns, Less Crime that proven since there's been more and more unconstitutional gun statutes, there's been more violent crime over the last 40 years. It's not true.
Appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme
Lie.
Court.
She's Indian American. Anybody can type Kamala Harris appointed as the first Indian American XYZ at da-da-da-da-da. She's not black.
No, they're talking about
No, this is
Supreme
Supreme
Court.
Court.
Oh, the Supreme Court. Okay. Oh, you're talking about Ketanji?
Ketanji.
Okay, I could go with that.
That's-
Wait,
she-
first African American what?
Woman.
Woman. He
Appointed
threw
to
that-
the Supreme Court.
Okay, cool. Woman. All right, I hear you. But so they had to add the woman in there because, Clarence Thomas is
been,
a thing.
Yeah,
He
been there
exists.
forever. Yeah.
Okay.
And passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. That's
Get
crazy.
the fuck out of here.
I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we revitalized and strengthened our alliances
Stop.
around the world.
Stop, you lying motherfucker. Stop.
Is that the end of it?
First of all,
No.
I want to hear. I want to hear the end of it.
All right.
It has been my greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it may have been intention to seek re-election, I believe it's in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and so focus solely on fulfilling my duties as a president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude for all of those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States.
Eat a dick. Eat a dick. You are a fucking liar. You have divided this nation. You have not tried to extend an olive branch. You went out of your way to make sure that the security service detail for the front runner of the presidency had the C team, not even the B team. You have lied about the economy. You have printed up trillions of dollars and sent them to foreign nations, which is not in the Constitution. You are a motherfucking liar. Shorty she ain't black. That's number one. There's so much wrong and a level of arrogance, associated with that, as if we are in a better nation, a better space now than ever. It's just a lie, bro. It's just a straight up lie. And it's like, again, I'm a libertarian. Our guy's not gonna win.
Right.
Like Chase Oliver's not gonna win, right? But goddamn, guys, like the level of arrogance, and that everybody has been saying, dude's not gonna make it. Dude's not gonna be. We know we gearing up for Gavin. We gearing up for Gavin. So like, dude has had a 50, almost 60-year career of shitting on the American people, more specifically Black America, with policy and legislation. I don't care about them flowery words that he wrote. Yeah. I don't care about that. The policy and legislation has been destructive. And during his term as the president, his policy has been destructive on the economic, because that's the single most impactful thing that's going to impact all Americans. His economic policies have been horrible. Massively printing up bunches of money to send to a fight that we should have never been involved with, while provoking NATO expansion by provoking Russia and trying to push for more Ukraine getting involved in NATO. The one single thing that could be stopped, the linchpin between stability and fucking nuclear war, World War III, is what him and his administration consistently did. He has not been at the helm for some time now. He did not write that goddamn X post or whatever it is. This is all cat, bro. People in America should make sure that they are voting with their understanding of politics, social understanding, civics, and wherever that lands them. But it definitely should not be for who their fucking replacement is. And more than likely, it's going to be Gavin. It's going to be Gavin. Like, dude's a liar. Dude is a devil. Gavin's a devil. Biden's a devil. Jill's a devil. And let me double down on Jill. You would have your husband knowing Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, if they had a blind ass baby, could see that this person is not capable of this position that you're allowing him to be trotted out into. She is complicit because she was there when he was writing the fuck legislation that destroyed our communities. So she is getting exactly what her karma dish is served to her too. everybody involved in this situation, from the fucking White House press secretary, at every level of this administration is a giant conglomerate of fuckboys and fuckgirls. All of them. They have been destructive to the American idea. They have done nothing to unify Americans. They are a part of the problem, and I will completely resist them and anybody else that wants to act like they were, the way out, and they were really, really supportive of, and I'm talking about especially black fucking people that want to have a goddamn pundit conversation when you're not qualified. Y'all the ops too at this point, and I say that with love as your brother. Sometimes your brother gotta give you some fucking tough love, and that's what's needed right now. No black person in America should vote for any Democrat on the ticket until they can show you legislation that's going to be beneficial for your needs. Y'all ignored Cube when he said this shit a few years ago.
Yep.
Maybe now y'all motherfuckers will pay attention.
Called the man a coon and an Uncle Tom and every name in the book, everything but his government name.
Maybe you, and Cube, free market enterprise, business, da-da-da-da. Maybe now you'll listen. Cube, if you're listening to this, Dr. Boyce, plug me with Cube. My point in saying this is, there were people that came through and said, we got to leverage what we want. You don't get this vote for nothing.
Yeah.
So whichever one of these Republican, Libertarian, Independent, Green Party, whatever, that's who you should be leveraging your vote towards. And if they don't got nothing for you, sit this one out and let America fall the way it's supposed to go. Focus on local and state situations and issues. You have more power locally. Run for local political office. Clean your fucking community up. Donate to our work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary if you happen to be in Philly. There's tons of things that we can do without pretending like this dude was some fucking white savior riding through on the white knight actually helping hoods across America, because he fucking wasn't. He locked your motherfucking uncle up, or your great uncle. That's what he's responsible for. And that's going to forever be his fucking shit-stained legacy as it relates to me, until he had the opportunity to change that when he was in the seat. And I knew he wasn't going to do it because he was in a vice president seat 2 terms before that.
And he didn't do it then.
He ain't do shit then. So, fuck Main Man. I hope he's having a very, very difficult life. I hope everybody in his family is continuing to have a very, very difficult life if they're not speaking up against the wrong that he's done politically for all Americans. Fuck you, you the ops, forever. And with me, it's forever. Fuck the other side.
That's the way to end the show, folks.
Hey, what the fuck else we gonna say?
What the fuck I'm gonna say after that? Oh, one thing I do have to say. You are ordained, because we were supposed to do this yesterday, and if we did this yesterday, I would have been calling you back today like, yo, where you at? I'm coming to the Solutionary Center. We got to do some more content because this shit broke literally while we were here. The you being the flat tire, the whole everything created this moment and that moment right there, man. Give everybody the contact information where they can find you at, man.
Hey, everybody support the work. Follow me on Instagram, Big Daddy Toure. Follow me on Twitter or X, Maj Toure, MAJTOURE 999. That's my backup on Instagram as well. Go over to subscribe to our website, solutionaryuniversity.org. Now, I'm going to ask everybody to support. If you learned anything, to be able to keep these classes free to all, firearm safety, all of the classes that we do at the center, whatever, we do that completely based on voluntary donations. We need 1,965 more donors at the $100 level. I'm going to ask everybody to go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. Be one of those $100 donors. The remainder of those donors will get a week worth of online classes. That's basic firearm safety training. That's understanding imminent threat. And that's the civics class. You'll get that week worth of classes, a t-shirt, and entry into the Solutionary 9 holistic program. That's what happens with your $100 donation. We're trying to incentivize people to donate at the $100 level. That's at givesendgo.com/solutionary. If you cannot give it the $100 level, give it whatever level you can. You won't get all of the other shit, but
you don't get all the perks.
But just be a $5 a month donor. Just sign up to be $5 a month. It's less than a couple of cups of coffee, and support the work. That's $60 a year. Imagine if we get 1,000 people to sign up for $5,000 a month. It's $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a month, where we can make sure that we're giving it away to keep the classes free and buy our Solutionary Center. So that's where you all can support and find us and our work. And just lastly, reminder to be kind, man. Be kind to each other. If someone politically disagrees with you, they may not have the information that you have. Try to figure out a way that you can establish an inroad with them and not destroy the relationship. Everybody that I spoke about today, this is not an attack on them personally, except Biden, who I believe deliberately did certain shit. But all of the folks that's at least trying, we are trying to save the world. We might just disagree on how we gonna do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So support the work. givesandgo.com/solutionary and be kind.
Real quick, do y'all do do you actually go to the ranges or go
Yep.
out firing?
Yep.
We need to do a vlog
Yep.
Yeah.
with them doing that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I would do that.
Man, I can't thank you enough for your time, for your knowledge, for your insight, for your candor, your honesty, and being here. I just need 2 commitments before you leave.
Okay.
1, I need you to promise me you're gonna come back.
Absolutely.
And then number 2, I need you to connect me with Nick Irvin because we need to talk to that brother because he has a level of expertise unlike anybody in the world.
I'll shoot a text right after this.
Yeah, I would love to have him on the show.
Yep.
This brother's phenomenal, man. If y'all sat through all of this, caught the breaking news at the end and everything like that, I'm sure you overly enjoyed this episode. And like you heard it here, I got him on camera to say he's going to come back.
Gonna come back.
He's definitely going to come back. And, we're going to do what we can to be able to support and salute what you're doing. And, anything that you need, from me, from us, we're glad to lend a hand.
Thank you.
And be a part of it, man, because it's absolutely necessary. TRPE, Maj Toure, we are out of here.
We out.
Peace.